Hello everyone, welcome live to 3Y TV tonight's broadcast of the National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series right here on 3Y TV. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth here tonight for the Simbox Button Box 240, a little bit of a tongue twister here tonight, is William Kerwin. And William, great to be back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. HOTLANTA it is called, but it'll be a little bit cooler because we're going to be starting this race in the morning, but the track will get hotter as this morning goes on. Definitely going to be fun here tonight.
Absolutely, Peter. Glad to be here tonight for this race. Can't wait for this. I've been trying to keep up with the truck series. As you know, I'm not a regular in this series, but just trying to keep up with everything that's been going on, and hopefully tonight's another good night.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun night. You see the up at the top of the screen, it is Andrew Himmelman who is the fastest machine in practice here tonight. That number 8 Sim Shots machine right there, going through turn number 3 and 4, and I know you have mentioned it to me, William, that the racetrack seems like it's got multiple grooves here tonight. We're going to see some drivers down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. We're going to see some drivers on the top side of the racetrack. Just drivers trying to find their groove here tonight as Andrew Himmelman gets a little bit loose here in turn number 1 and 2. I don't think that's the last time we're going to see that here tonight.
No, I was watching him, as we spoke before the broadcast, I was watching him earlier. He was being very nice and smooth on the top side there, but I guess he just lost it there. But yeah, this track, I was testing it earlier. It seemed like the top or the middle lane will be the best groove to be in tonight. We do see some cars running the inside. We'll see how it goes on to the race, but as we watch Jeff Price just hit the wall coming off of turn 4 after hitting the apron, another car loose, that's Ben Eizenger, and he will save it, and he'll get back going again. This is still practice.
Yeah, these drivers just out there right now trying to find the limits of the racetrack so they can lay down a hot lap here in the Craig Setup Shop pole shootout here in just a minute. There's the number 17, Tristan Maurer, excuse me. That's exactly how you pronounce his name. But Tristan right now inside the top 10. He's down there in 8th. We got a quick look of Doug Neal in the Simbox machine, the sponsor of tonight's Simbox Button Box 240 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. A bit surprised that it wasn't this race wasn't snapped up by the Brookstone Animal Hospital. They are also located in the Atlanta, Georgia area, but that Simbox number 77 will be keeping an eye on him here tonight, as well as his Simbox teammates Travis White and Nathan Maurer, currently both sitting on pit road. But about a minute and 40 seconds left here tonight, William. Race number 8 here tonight. We've only had one repeat winner, and that was the driver of the number 49 machine. He was up here in the 3Y TV booth last night, Mitchell Adams. Adams looking for 3 in a row here tonight at Atlanta.
Yeah, he is the points leader, as you mentioned there right now, over Christopher Darling. So we'll see how Mitchell does tonight there. I'm not sure where he's running in the practice right now. Maybe you have a better seeing, but actually he's running about, I think, 6th or 7th. So, you know, we'll see how it goes tonight. We'll see if there's going to be any wrecks, if these guys can get these cart trucks under control. I've been watching practice improve throughout this whole time for the whole hour.
Yeah, that is definitely the case, and of course, we got to give a big shout out to our friends over at Buttkicker, because the Buttkicker Challenge, folks, if you pick up the pole award here brought to you by our friends over at Craig Setup Shop, you get an opportunity as we see one of the Simbox trucks get loose out of turn number 2, still trying to corral that truck. But if you pick up the Craig Setup Shop pole award here tonight, folks, you have an opportunity to fight for the Buttkicker Challenge. And if you were able to win the Buttkicker Challenge, which means you have to start the race at the end of the field, you win the pole, you start at the tail end of the field, and if you can go through the entire field and win the race, here tonight you can pick up $40. $40 on the line, and I'll tell you what, William, $40 is kind of that threshold where I think you just got to go for it every week. Doesn't matter what track it is, there's a lot of money on the line. A lot of these drivers have already locked themselves into the chase because it's winning you're in. You know, if you're one of those drivers locked in, as you see Stan Hausmann go around there, if you're locked in, there is definitely nothing keeping me from taking that Buttkicker Challenge. We'll see if we can see a driver walk away with that here tonight. Looks like the racetrack. I was just going to say racetrack gone quiet here, and we're over into that Craig Setup Shop pole shootout there, William.
Yeah, we're waiting to see if anybody gets on the track. I was going to say that last week there at Dover, we The pole sitter ended up losing, had to come from the back a few times there as we take a look at the 20 of Jason Freeman get on the racetrack. So, maybe it's best now to try to go for it there this week. And if, a caution comes out during a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of these drivers on pit road every single time this week with how slippery this racetrack has been. Here is the number 20 machine. Jason Freeman got to victory lane a couple times last season here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, but yet to get to victory lane so far this season in the Mason-Dixon Cornhole machine. You see him running down the backstretch right there, running that high line on lap number 1. We'll see whether or not he drops down to the inside on lap number 2. Just waiting to see the first couple of times start to roll in here. You see that that number 20 machine, he has exactly 2 laps to go. There's the number 23 machine of Travis White out there on the racetrack. Ben Eizenger, the Canadian driver, going to jump up to the top of the board here in his 07 machine on the provisional pole here. Of course, brought to you by our friends over at Craig's Setup Shop.
So we still see him go down the back straightaway for his second lap. Let's see if he can improve or maybe just stay the same. Looking through the field right now, Ullery is in third. Now Ullery is on the pole with a 30.874. JT Poole moves up to second, and here's Colin Ullery. Right now your pole sitter.
Yeah, and unbelievably, folks, up at the top of the charts, we have a 30.87. JT Poole, second spot, 2/1000ths of a second slower. Ben Eizenga, 1/100th of a second slower. 3 lap times within 1/100th of a second. Colin Ullery on your provisional pole right now, but we still do have a couple of drivers out there on the racetrack trying to pip him to the pole. One of those drivers is right here, the 971 Nathan Maurer. And we know Nathan has been quick this season as well, though he's pulling his truck to the inside of the racetrack. Not sure what that's about. Here comes Justin White in the other Simbox Chevy Silverado. A couple of the Simbox trucks here tonight for the Simbox Button Box 240 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here in the chat tonight on 3YTV. Been a very active chat here tonight. We got Megan Glover in the chat, Stephen Doziak, Stay Tuned Sports, Tana Himmelman as always, Johnny Williams saying good luck all and hello to the booth. How's it going, Johnny? Hopefully you're having a good night. And hopefully you can sit back and relax and enjoy some action here on 3YTV. Christopher Darling, number 11 machine, we got a quick look at him there. He just put in his lap time. We have a minute 44 left, so just enough time for some of these drivers to go out there here, William, and get their lap times in.
Yeah, I was going to say about Nathan Maurer, he might have gotten coming on the track too soon, but I'm not sure what happened to him. We're still watching the number 2 car headed down into turn number 1 there. Turn number 2, he's running the bottom. Pretty smooth for the bottom. I've been seeing a lot of sideways on the bottom as we run on board, heading down into turn number 3 for his final time. And he's going to run down he's going to get it back down to the bottom, coming off of turn number 4, and we'll see where he ends up on his second lap. So far, still Colin Ullery on the pole with 1 minute left in qualifying.
Yeah, 1 minute left in qualifying, and it looks like Nathan Maurer was able to finally put a lap time in, but only 15th quick on the board. Time running out for these drivers to get a hot lap in. Tristan Maher in the number 17. We know he's very quick in that number 17 Chevy Silverado. He's still out there trying to hustle his truck around. So a couple of late qualifiers here to try and dethrone the number 62 of Colin Ullery from picking up that Craig Setup Shop Pole Award here tonight. And got to give a big shout out to Craig Setup Shop. Looks like Tristan Maher just going to bring it down onto pit road. He says, you know what? No, thank you. I'm done. Nathan Maurer going to get lap number 2 and he's going to jump up to 11th on the board in his truck, but looks like that is going to be it for the 971 Simbox Chevy Silverado, and I'm not seeing anyone else out there here. So it looks like, William, that Colin Ullery will be picking up that pole award brought to you by Craig Setup Shop.
Yeah, we'll see now if he'll take that challenge here tonight for that extra $40. It might be a better bet at this racetrack. I mean, we'll see what happens there. As we get ready now, these guys are in their 5-minute warm-up before the actual race gets started.
Yeah, and let's see if we can talk to driver of the number 62 machine, Colin Ullery. Colin Ullery, Peter Short, 3 Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, you went out there, stellar lap time by 2/1000ths of a second. You pick up tonight's Craig Setup Shop Pole Position Award. Congratulations on picking up that award. What was the key to the fast lap here tonight?
I honestly have no idea. I was not expecting to be in the top 10 in qualifying, let alone on pole. So I'm very shocked by that and very happy at the same time.
Well, definitely awesome to see you pick up that pole award, but now we transition over to the big question. $40 on the line here tonight in the Buttkicker Challenge. We see you having a little bit of a moment. Good save, good save, good save, good job, good job. Not very often you get to go on board and talk to someone while they save a race truck, but we got the Buttkicker Challenge on the line here tonight. $40. What do you think? You gonna go for it? I mean, it's $40. That's a decent chunk of change.
Yeah, I think I am actually going to go for it. I don't know if I doubt that I win it, but we're going to go for it.
All right, well, folks, you heard it right there. Driver of the number 62 is going to go for the Buttkicker Challenge. We'll have our eyes on you here tonight in that number 62 machine, as hopefully that doesn't happen to you in the race there, Colin.
Yeah.
But, I'll tell you what, at least you can go jump in a backup truck here. But good luck with the Buttkicker Challenge, and we'll probably try and talk to you throughout the race.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let him get back to his crew, but I'll tell you what, William, it's going to be really fun to see that number 62 machine taking the Buttkicker Challenge, and folks, he's going to have to start at the tail end of the field. He's going to have to start dead last and work his way up to try and win the race. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, Peter. Excuse me. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Getting through these cars, getting to the front, pitch strategy, all that's going to come into play to get him to the front. We've seen it, like I said, last week at Dover. The pole sitter ended up on a bad pitch strategy. Caution came out. He ended up going to the back of the pack, made his way back to the front, but then he went back to the pack again. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, I felt like last week at Dover would have been a great opportunity for someone to try and take that Buttkicker Challenge, but no one tried last week. No one tried the week before at the Roval either. But finally, the amount of money on the line brought to you by Buttkicker. And if you have not checked out Buttkicker, there's a link in the description to Buttkicker. And so if you're watching here on your PC, you can just go down to the description, or you can just type it into your browser manually, www.thebuttkicker.com. That is thebuttkicker.com. Don't think you can mess up on the spelling of the Buttkicker. Awesome to have them on board, as well as Craig Setup Shop for sponsoring the Pole Position Award, which it looks like Colin Ullery picked it up, but he won't be starting there. It's just going to be a fun night here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's a checkered flag on the warm-up session here has closed out, William, and this is going to be a fun ride tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this start. I can't wait to call this first race with you here for me on the Truck Series. So we'll see what happens as these guys get gridded up, and we'll see the 62 drop to the rear, and that will give the Ben Eizenger, I believe, will get in front of the field here for the start.
Yeah, that should put the 07 machine on the pole position. Now let's see if we can bring up tonight's starting grid, starting up at the front of the field. It will be driver of the number 62 of Colin Ullery. Because he takes the Buttkicker Challenge, folks, he's going to have to drop to the tail end of the field. So everyone on the left side of your screen moves up 2 positions. They all move up 1 truck in that row. So Colin Ullery picks up our Craig Setup Shop pole award, but he's going to have to start tail end of the field. JT Poole will still start second. Ben Eizenger will be elevated up to the first position. Then you have Mitchell Adams, Andrew Himmelman, Jeff Price qualifying in 6th, Matt Cherry, who was lightning quick at this race 1 year ago before disaster struck. He will be starting 7th. Christopher Darling, Jamar Dumas, and Ben Adams running at your top 10 qualifiers here tonight there, William.
Going through the field again, Nathan Maurer will start 11th. Robert Dudley will start 12th. As we continue going on, the 13th position will go to Jason Freeman. 14th, Matt Coy, I hope I'm saying that right. 15th, Ben Mashburn. 16th, Evan Burke in the number 43. 17th, Garrett Gleason. Justin White We'll start 18th, 19th, Travis White, and 20th, Monty Glover Jr.
In 21st position, we got Jason Gracias, Steven Doziak Jr. to his outside, Stan Hausmann and Doug Milliner, 23rd and 24th. And just to take you through the tail end of your field, Tristan Maurer, Mike Floppy Tellier, Doug Neal, Kyle Lewis, and Zach Howell here tonight. As you can see, though, on your screen, folks, that is the 07 machine who will be leading us to the green flag, as the number 26 of Colin O'Leary has dropped to the tail end of the field to take that butt kicker challenge. He's going to try and kick the butt of the field, but the green flag waves here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it is Ben Eizenger, the 07, who leads us off into turn number 1 with the number 26 of JT Poole to his outside. Look at Andrew Himmelman. And William, I know you were in last night's race here on 3Wide TV, the National Sim Racing Association GTR Simulators Truck Series. We saw last night Andrew Himmelman extremely aggressive in that number 8 Sim Shots machine. I don't think he will be as aggressive here tonight, as he has a big wiggle. He has a big wiggle. He's in the wall.
Oh man, I was going to say he was going to come on the outside 3 wide, but in the wall, no caution. He's going to drop way to the back. I'm not sure how badly damaged his truck is, but we'll see if he can get any repairs if a caution does come out, maybe on the lap 50, and be able to get back in this race. Going back to the field now, all single file, a couple side-by-sides. Everybody just tiptoeing right now to get through these first 50 laps.
Yeah, they're kind of just hoping that these trucks come to them as the run goes on. We've heard from a couple of drivers here tonight that just gotta wait for those tires to kind of come in. But we do have a side-by-side battle between JT Poole and Mitchell Adams up here at the front of the field. If you're wondering about Andrew Himmelman, he has dropped all the way down, folks, to the 16th position, and he started this race in 3rd position here tonight. Look at JT Poole, though, down the backstretch. He's going to take it 3 wide, William. He is going to just force his nose into turn number 3, and looks like he's going to take the race lead here from the 07 of Eizenga.
Talking about aggressive, JT Poole, one of the other aggressive people in this league. Yeah, he made it 3 wide, and Mitchell Adams and Ben Eizenga had to just let him go too early for that. I think these guys are still trying to get these trucks. I'm seeing a few cars running the top. I'm surprised there's not more cars going through the field here, but a lot of cars running the bottom. Mitchell Adams will fall in line in the 3rd position there, and in 1st through 5th right there on your screen.
Yeah, so we are starting to get just a little bit single file up here towards the front of the field. Mitchell Adams now closing in on the back of the 07 of Ben Eizenga. This will be a battle now for the 2nd spot, as you can see right there on your screen. You could really throw a blanket over your front 3. Mitchell Adams, like we mentioned at the top of the show, folks, trying to go for 3 consecutive wins here in the series. That number 49 machine, he is your back-to-back reigning series champion here of the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, and that Chevy Silverado has been extremely quick over the last couple of weeks. Keep our eyes on the MaxGrafix.co 49 here tonight. Let's look a little bit further back in the field. There's Ben Adams. He qualified 10th. He's running in the 10th position right now behind the number 24, Ben Mashburn, who's had absolute rotten luck in the Thursday night series here the past couple of weeks. Has 2 consecutive last place finishes. I'm sure he will not be happy that I'm bringing that up, but the BetAngles.com Ford F-150 looking really nice out there here tonight. Make sure you check out BetAngles.com if you're in the betting realm, because they, like they say, they give you the bet angle on whatever you want to bet on. Really cool to have them as a series sponsor this year here in the National Sim Racing Association. But what I'm starting to see here, William, is like you kind of mentioned, that outside line is really starting to be favored amongst a lot of these drivers, at least that middle groove. Not seeing all too many trucks right down there, right on that white line.
Yeah, no, and I'm keeping up with Colin Ullery. He's moved up to 19th position right now. But you said these guys still just trying to get this truck figured out, running that middle line. I don't think they want to go too high after they saw what happened to Andrew Himmelman there on lap number 1. We have some side-by-side battles. And as I said that, there's a bunch of cars running the top line now. So we'll see what we got. One sideways, he saved it. Yeah, nothing else really going on there. We see, again, the 24 truck. I believe it was, I don't know if it was in the broadcast last night or if it was after the race. Somebody was saying to get rid of that Jeff Gordon throwback scheme. So he's now running maybe his better scheme to get him better luck.
Yeah, it was me. I said, you know what? He's just going to have to get rid of that Jeff Gordon scheme on Thursday nights because it is not bringing him any luck. But we do have this battle right here between the 24 of Mashburn, the 5 of Ben Adams, as well as the number 48 machine right there. That is Robert Dudley. And we saw a lot of pace out of Dudley last season here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. It just doesn't seem like he has had quite the pace this season, but Atlanta Motor Speedway was a very strong track for Dudley last season. So I'm expecting him to be very strong here tonight in this one. In fact, last year at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the race winner was James Zorello. JT Poole, who started second place here tonight, was the pole sitter for that event. But I remember the number 48 was one to watch out for, as well as Matt Cherry, the number 38 machine, who here tonight, he's running down in 17th, and he was so strong here at Atlanta Motor Speedway one season ago.
Yeah, Peter, we got a battle for the lead here. It looks like Ben Eizenger is about to get it. I don't know if JT Poole got the wall there coming off of turn number 2. As we head down into turn number 3, it looks like JT Poole is still going to hold on to the lead. Ben Eizenger will fall back in line, but Mitchell Adams still hanging right in there. Those top 3 are trying to get away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, they are definitely legging out just a little bit on Jamar Dumas, who's running in the 4th position. That is a good run out of the number 28 of Dumas. There is the Pittsburgh Penguins Chevy Silverado running in the 4th position. He's gained 5 spots from the start of the race here, William. One of the biggest movers, at least inside the top 10, Jason Freeman in the number 20. He's gained 7 positions from where he started here tonight. But that number 28 machine is on a tear right now, and he's actually run down here Mitchell Adams in the number 49 machine and looking to the inside here through the quad over.
Yeah, Mitchell Adams might have used some of his stuff up there. He's getting a little bit loose. I saw him come off of turn number 4. Yeah, but he's back down the bottom line there. Still single file. Again, Ben Eizenger is trying to look to the inside of JT Poole, but I don't think he'll be able to get that inside pass unless he gets a really good run coming off of turn number 2. Again, he's looking at the bottom, and it's going to be close again. He might actually got it. I don't know. Coming off of turn number 4. It's going to be close. It's going to be dead even at the line. I believe it was Eizenger, but I could be wrong, Peter.
Yeah, I'll tell you what about Ben Eizenger so far this season. That 07 machine has been extremely quick. 4th place in the points. In fact, he's the highest placed driver in points without a win so far, is the Canadian 07. So he's definitely due for a win here in the National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. We know that. He didn't have a great season last season. He's been looking to turn it around and has been showing the consistency needed to cement his spot in the chase for the championship here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. Speaking of Stay Tuned Sports Podcast, they're in the chat here tonight. How's it going? Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of the 3-wide TV action. Dana Hillman in the chat as well. Every time you say Dumas, I think of the song Let's Go Down to Dumas Walker. We'll have a strawberry pie and a bottle of ski. I'll tell you what, you might be showing your age. I don't know the song, I'll be honest with you. But that was her next comment, I should say. But really great to have all of you people in the chat here tonight, really enjoying this side-by-side action for the race lead. And looks like maybe, William, there, Eizenger had a little bit of a slide on the inside line, had to check up, and he will slot back in line behind the number 26 for right now.
Yeah, here comes Mitchell Adams on the bottom there of Eizenger now. Maybe he'll try to get by and try to give a shot at JT Poole, heading off in turn number 4. Again, JT Poole still leading the race. Here comes Mitchell Adams. He got second now as he's going to head off into turn number 1, try to get in front of Eizenger, maybe have a shot for the lead. And I believe the 4th place car trying to get under there right now. Oh man, these guys are, look at the 5th place car, Freeman. He's coming through the field real good. He just got a little bit loose there. He's going to be under pressure.
Yeah, that was a big wiggle out the back of the number 20 machine. Looks like he is going to lose that spot to Jeff Price in the number 14. Price was extremely strong last season on the 1.5 mile racetrack, especially the ones that were really slick. He got that win last season at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and I think tonight is racing quite a bit like Las Vegas did last year. So keep our eyes on the number 14 machine here tonight. One thing we mentioned earlier on, just to kind of segue just a little bit, was the track conditions. We mentioned that this race starts early in the morning. 8 a.m. was when practice started, I believe. And the current track temperature right now is at 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So we will see whether or not that track temperature goes up as the day goes on. Although I'm not seeing the clock move there, which is odd. Perhaps they've maybe frozen time in time. But up at the front, it looks like Mitchell Adams has got around Ben Eizenger, and I'm wondering here, William, if Eizenger might have burned up his stuff a little bit.
Yeah, getting this first run 50 laps, these guys will be able to figure out what they can do with their car, and he's under a lot of pressure right now from the 28 of Jamar Dumas and the 20 of Jason Freeman. So we'll see what happens here. We got a slow car here. I'm not sure what's going on. There's Colin Ullery. I'm not sure where he's moved up to. He's still back in 22nd, so he's lost about 6 positions since the last time I checked on him.
Ooh, and he is not happy with that Chevy Silverado. He just lost another spot to Zach Howell. I'm just wondering if he has burned up his stuff here tonight, taking part in the Buttkicker Challenge, trying to walk away $40 richer here tonight, but things just not going all too well for him at the moment. JT Poole's legged out about 0.7 of a second lead over the number 49 machine there of Mitchell Adams. Eizenger going to hold on to third, but look at this gaggle of trucks right here. You got Eizenger, you got Freeman, you got Dumas, you got Nathan Maurer, you got Christopher Darling in the mix as well as the number 14 there of Jeff Price. All of these trucks you could throw a blanket over, and of course Darling is second place in the points, just 26 markers behind the number 49 machine of Mitchell Adams, who's just a couple of trucks up the road. So we know Darling's trying to have a good night. We know Eizenga's fourth place in points. And JT Poole, who is your race leader here tonight and has gone to victory lane this season, did so back at Chicagoland, a 1.5-mile racetrack, kind of like what we have here tonight, William. Another 1.5 miles here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And right now, the 26 is pulling out a little bit of a lead over Mitchell Adams.
Yeah, I've been watching his line into turn number 3 and turn 4. He's been running a lower line. I'm not sure about 1 and 2. He's running, he's getting back down to the bottom. So maybe there's something down there now that he's found that he can hold on to with his tires. And Mitchell Adams in second. Eizenger is still falling back further, but he's still in third. But they're being gapped.
Yeah, and you can see how those gaps have been changing over the last 5 laps. And here comes the 07 machine. Ben Eizenger coming down pit road on lap number 24. This is a huge surprise to me, William. I wasn't expecting to see pit stops this early. We're running a bigger fuel tank than what we're used to here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. But lap number 24 just seems too early for me to come down pit road and make it a viable strategy, because at this rate, he's going to have to pit 6 times here tonight. And that is just insurmountable. You can't really do it. Although, as I say that, maybe they are running low on fuel. I thought they were running 80% fuel tanks here tonight, but this kind of makes me think that they're running the 60% fuel tanks that they commonly use here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, because we got a slew of trucks on pit road.
Yeah, I'm not sure if these guys are just wanting to either check their tire wear. But yes, you are correct. They are running the 85% fuel. I was reading the race information here. So again, we're about halfway through the lap 50 stage break. So we're going to see what different strategies these guys are going to play here as JT Poole exits with Mitchell Adams still right there in tow. And I believe Nathan Maurer has taken the lead of this race. And we'll see if he's going to pit.
So here is the big question. And I think this is going to be determine the viability of the strategy of those cars that just came down pit road, William, is when do these trucks plateau on their tires? With this current iRacing tire package, it seems like your first 5 to 10 laps, you are golden. Your tires are quick, and then after 10 to 15 laps, they really start to fall off a little bit. But then after about 20 to 25 laps, they start to go stable. You don't start to lose much more time. You don't start to change the truck's handling. You kind of get to feel the same truck lap after lap. And so once these drivers who are 20, 25 laps on their tires, if they can leg it out to lap number 40, let's say, well, they've just cut out a pit stop or two. So that's going to be a really important strategy in my mind. If some of these drivers can make it to lap number 40, well, you only have to make it on a 3-stop strategy. And I think with these tires plateauing, I don't think the 971 is going to be losing much to the other cars around him when he starts going down pit road because of this tire plateau. So we will keep our eyes on Nathan Maurer, see how far he goes. He is your race leader. We just saw Jeff Price peel off in the number 14 machine. But interesting to see some different strategies here tonight with how slick this racetrack is. And I'll tell you what, William, it's only going to get slicker if the racetrack starts to get hotter.
Yeah, Nathan Maurer is just about to be passed up by these guys that were the race leaders. They're going to get their lap back here. We'll see how long Nathan Maurer stays out for. I don't know if I'm going to like his strategy right now, Peter. If he does pit, lap 40, 41, he might. These cars are running a lot faster right now. So, but you said about the plateauing too. Well, we'll see. Still he's been out there 30 laps, and he's getting looks like a little tight off turn number two there. But we'll see how it's going. Travis White is up to second. He's about 4 seconds behind him. So Nathan Maurer doesn't have really much competition right now. Just about those 3 cars that just passed him that were the race leaders.
So let's see what happens here. Looks like Maurer going to stay out up in the race lead. Travis White in one of the other Simbox trucks right there, the silver Simbox machine here in the Simbox Button Box 240. He's going to stay out as well. Doug Neal in the 77 also staying out. So all the Simbox trucks here trying a different strategy here tonight. I like it. I like doing something a little bit different, out here on the racetrack, because why not, right? Why not try to do something a little bit differently? Let's see if we can bring up one of these graphics and see if we can see what is going on between these different trucks. There is Nathan Maurer and JT Poole. So you can just see there, folks. That's the difference between fresh tires and old tires. You can see Nathan Maurer's lap times over the last 5 laps: a 32.7, a 32.5, a 32.7, a 32.8, a 32.7. Like I said, folks, that is kind of plateauing. But JT Poole right now on the fresh tires, he's running 1.5 seconds faster, which is really impressive. But think about it. 1.5 seconds faster is, Maurer gets high up there on the racetrack. This racetrack, they're turning lap times in a 32-second bracket. You go 1.5 seconds faster, it's going to take you about 20 to 24 laps or so for a car to make that up. So I really don't know, because in just a couple of laps, when Nathan Maurer finally does come down pit road, he's going to be faster than those other trucks around him. I think if Nathan can hold on here, like I said, to lap number 40, I'm going to be liking his strategy. Yes, he's going to be out there. Yes, he's going to be screaming for fresh tires. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But last time by, 1.9 seconds slower than JT Poole on those fresh tires.
Yeah, he's a little sideways there. So JT Poole right now is about 25 seconds back off on Nathan Maurer. He's picking up a lot of time. We just saw a whole bunch of those other lead lap or lap down trucks that just pitted, just get right around him. There's JT Poole right now. There's Mitchell Adams. Ben Eizenger's fallen off a little bit from these two again. So, Eizenger, about that 10-15 lap mark, he starts to fall off real bad. So maybe some adjustments in driving later in this race can help him out. But Mitchell Adams there running strong. He's looking for what would be the race lead if these guys do pit here later on. He's going to stay right there, though. He's going to fall back in line.
And we're getting word that there has been a pit road speeding violation. The number 43 of Evan Burke, a long pit stop for him. He had an extended stay, 40-second stop and hold. That will lose him an entire lap out there on the racetrack. So tough break for Evan Burke. He is currently being scored in the 28th position. Andrew Himmelman is currently also being scored in 27th. There is the Sim Shots Chevy Silverado. Had that hefty hit with the outside wall there not all too long ago, It was at the top of the show, but that wasn't all too long ago, all things considered. And that number 8 really trying to play catch-up here tonight after what was a stellar qualifying run. But that damage is going to kind of put him behind the 8 ball, I think, all night long.
Yeah, we've seen him catch up to Ben Eizenger, but Nathan Maurer has pitted. I believe I heard Doug Neal and Justin White are going to head their way down pit road. So again, those team trucks headed to down there together. Travis White will stay your race leader. Steven Doziak will move up to second. So Travis White has about an 8-second lead. There is Justin White right now in pit road getting his much-needed tires. And here comes all those cars that just went by these guys. Going to get those positions back.
Yeah, so that leaves Travis White, the only truck out there on the racetrack, trying to make it to lap number 40, because if he can, that means he can do it on just 3 pit stops here tonight, and that could be important as the night goes on. Remember, once he comes down pit road, he is going to have the fresher tires. He's going to be the fastest truck on the racetrack. So here he goes, working lap number 38. Will we see him come down pit road this time? Just looking to see if there have been any more pit road speeding penalties. I believe there might have been one more. The number 10 machine of Monty Glover had an extended stay on pit road just a couple of laps ago. So Monty Glover in the number 10 machine being scored in 29th right now as we watch our race leader during this pit cycle trying to go another lap and a half here to make it through lap number 40. Can the number 23 here of Travis White do it? I wouldn't be at all surprised. He's dropping a little bit low on the racetrack. Is he coming down pit road this time, William? It looks like he's slowing down. Indeed, he is. Here comes the number 23 down to pit road.
Yeah, we'll see him get his 4-tire stop, and that will possibly, if Steven Doziak stays out, put him as the race leader. There he is right now, and he will go by and take the race lead. And he's going to let this car go by, let Doug Neal go by, because he's got those fresher tires. But then after that, it will be JT Poole. So JT Poole's moved back up to the, will be the second position once scoring updates, and Mitchell Allen will be third.
Yep, there is JT Poole in that number 26 machine, who is your race leader right now. Mitchell Adams is running in second. Kyle Lewis in the number 18. He has yet to come down pit road. I think he's just going to try and get through this lap. Steven Doziak is on pit road. Oof, man. Might have had a little bit of a hot pit road entry there for Steven Doziak, but he is coming down to his pit crew. Let's see if we can see that pit road entry here on the 3-wide TV replay of Steven Doziak. Gets down there to the bottom side of the racetrack. Does he half spin it here? No, just locks up the left front. So, oof, and then locks it up again there. But wasn't as big as I so expected. But anyway, up at the front of the field now, we've cycled through the first pit stop. And it is JT Poole who is your race leader. But William, the one thing I'm interested about is we saw some cars on pit road as early as lap number 23. Ben Eizenger came down pit road on lap number 23. And keeping my eye on that 07 machine, we're on lap number 42. You do the math. 2 times 23 is 46. So will we see Ben Eizenger on pit road here in the next 4 laps or so? I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be true or not. But that seems like the strategy he wants to call. Meanwhile, the rest of the field hadn't even caught up to the 55 of Steven Doziak when Doziak came down pit road. So, whoa, the 23 Travis White there having a big moment. What just happened there with the number 23 of Travis White coming back out there into the racetrack? We'll get a 3-wide TV look at that one because it looked like that number 23 truck was all over the racetrack. Did he just come off pit road or did he just get loose up there in turn number 1 and 2? We'll find out right here, William.
Yeah, it looks like he was just off of turn 2 and just got a little loose off there. Be able to save it. No harm, no foul. Keep that car going. Going back to Ben Eizenger real fast, he's actually fallen back to 4th now. We got about 6 laps before that stage break, so I don't think he's going to come in. He's going to risk of going a lap down if he does that. I don't think any of these guys are going to come in before the stage break. I think this is just going to be it. These guys have got what they got until the end here of the first 50 laps, and which have been all green flag, Peter, which I'm surprised.
Oh, that makes perfect sense to why they put it on lap number 25, and that's because of that stage break coming at lap number 50. I had not thought of that, but that makes perfect sense here because they just wanted to split that in, different kind of in half to get the fresh tires and get the most benefit out of that. So that makes sense. We'll just have to wait and see how that all shakes out. But it is JT Poole, the number 26 machine, who's up there in the point standings, currently running away with it, up to a 2-second race lead over Mitchell Adams in second. Look at Jeff Price hanging in there in third. There's the number 14 machine. Christopher Darling has had a good exchange on pit road. In fact, speaking of exchange, he's trying to exchange spots with the 07 of Eizenger. This is the battle for fourth and the battle for fifth as Jason Gracias is now right there behind the 07.
Yeah, I think, again, like I said earlier, he ran about 10 good laps, clean laps. And I think he's just going to have to learn to save his stuff for a later run, because this will be 24 laps since he pitted, and he has used up all his stuff. He's losing positions like crazy. He's going to fall back to fifth. Going back to another story, we're talking about Nathan Maurer. He has now ended up 2 laps down, so I'm not sure what happened to him after his pit stop there, Peter.
Yep, I'm seeing a pit road speeding violation on the 971 machine of Nathan Maurer. So Maurer here is, like you mentioned, a couple of laps down in the 28th position. Things not looking good for him at the moment. We're just 2 laps away from the one and only stage caution flag that we'll have here tonight. The top 10 drivers will be awarded points. Now let's check in on one of those drivers who started the race at the tail end of the field, and that was the driver who picked up tonight's Craig Setup Shop Pole Award. He is doing the Buttkicker Challenge here tonight, trying to go for the additional $40 on the line for taking part in the Buttkicker Challenge. Colin Ullery has got himself up to the 13th position, trying to run down Ben Mashburn in 12th position up in front of him. So that will be your check-in with driver of the number 62, Colin Ullery, as we will be seeing the caution flag here very, very shortly here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the one and only Sage Break.
Yeah, Colin Ullery, last we checked with him, he was back in 22nd, losing positions like crazy, so a great recovery so far. And here we come down to lap number 50, as we got to wait for the top 10 to cross, and I believe that's when the caution will come out for the break.
Yeah, so just waiting for the iRacing flagman to throw the caution flag. We did see a battle back there. Let's see if we can keep our eyes on the battle between Jamar Dumas and Jason Freeman. This is the battle for 7th right now, and the caution flag has come out. So Jason Freeman able to hold on to the 7th position over Jamar Dumas, but that was a good battle there between the number 20 and the number 28. Ben Eizenger did end up losing that 5th position to Jason Gracias. So the MaxGrafix.co number 1 machine right there on your screen is inside the top 5. And I am very excited to say we have made it 50 laps of this race caution-free up until now. It has definitely been a fun one. To answer the question, we did have a question in the chat a little while ago. Daniel Noble asked what the pace car was. I thought it was the Ford Mustang. I was wrong. That is the iRacing designed Kia Audi. That's what I call it. It's a Kia Audi. It's a Kia and an Audi and a Hyundai all put together, smashed into one, and iRacing has called it their own car. That is the pace car here tonight, the Kia Audi. But on pit road right now is JT Poole coming down to get some fresh tires. In fact, everyone coming down pit road. I do believe that we do have a lucky dog under this caution flag. Trying to make sure I know who that is indeed. We'll keep an eye on that. And I believe we do know who it is. William?
Yeah, I believe it's Himmelman, but I mean, you have better knowing than I do.
Well, I'm glad we can be in agreement as you see JT Poole come off pit road right there, and the rest of the field back behind him. Whoa, almost 4 wide back there. Look at Matt Cherry and the Amsoil machine. Looks like Ben Eizenger lost a ton of time on pit road. But yeah, your Lucky Dog Award brought to you by Atlanta's own Brookstone Animal Hospital. Right there is the number 8 of Andrew Himmelman. qualified up there inside the top 5, but that early contact with the outside wall really has thwarted his race. And the number 8 Simshots Chevy Silverado right there, going to be scored in the 17th. Well, he's scored in 17th right now, but he's going to be scored a little bit further back. I think he's going to be scored 23rd when we go back green here in just a little bit. But there is JT Poole, your race leader. And let's see if we can get a word. Well, let's make sure the pace car lights don't turn off here, because they very well might. And I believe they have, maybe? Yes? Yes? Yeah, I believe they have turned off. No, I don't know. The pace car making me look like a fool. You know, that's what the pace car likes to do. No, those pace car lights stay on. Let's see if we can talk to one of those drivers here tonight. Let's see if we can grab JT Poole at this moment in time. William, I think we grabbed him down here into the booth. Take it away, William.
JT Poole, it's Kerwin in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey man, how you doing out there? How's the truck handling?
Feeling good. Short run doesn't feel the best, but I definitely feel like we're really fast on the long run.
Yeah, I was. We were kind of questioning up here the pit strategy there, where you guys just wanted to get fresher tires, do that stage and half, or just wanted to once you saw Ben Eizenger pit just come in as well.
Yeah, so I think everyone's plan was to just go at 25 just to cut that stint in half. But then once everyone saw Eizenger come down, we just all collectively decided we were just going to come and pit.
Before we let you go there, get back, because I believe the pace car lights are going to go off this time. You have any shout-outs you want to give out?
Yeah, dad, family, everyone watching, you guys for broadcasting, Stay Tuned Sports, all the guys, all the supporters of the league. Can't thank them enough.
JT, good luck the rest of the race there, and we'll see you at the end.
Yes, sir.
And I know this is embarrassing, JT, but, you know, sometimes I move you down here, and I can't remember where I moved you from. What channel did I move you from?
Either 2 weeks in a row. It's the MaxGrafix racing team.
All right, there you go. See, I just don't know why I cannot remember that, and now I can't find it. There we go. Send it back up to the MaxGrafix racing team. And, William, we're about to go back green here in just a little bit here, but a fantastic start to the race. Green flag racing, but now we've had our stage break. All bets are off from here on out for the remaining 106 laps still left here tonight once the green flag falls.
Yeah, we're going to see JT Poole was pulling away. He was talking about the car's not really good on the short run, which is kind of what I explained earlier today. And the long run seems to be better. He was getting on the bottom of the track, so we'll see what he does here again as we've got, I'm not sure who that was, that just blinked out, but came back. But moving up there is Chris Darlin. He's up to 4th. Ben Eizenger was the worst of that one on the pit stop. He's all the way back in about 10th position. Green flag's back out.
Green flag back in the air. JT Poole with a big jump in the number 26 machine. Looks like Mitchell Adams, Jeff Price locked in that battle for the second spot. Give the position to Jeff Price. Meanwhile, back behind them, Jason Gracias trying to pull away from the 11 of Christopher Darling. A little bit of a new look on the number 11 machine here tonight. That is one of the series sponsors on the hood. The Taz Racing Customs number 11 machine. You'll see the Tasmanian double on the number 11 here tonight. Very cool look for Christopher Darling. There you go, Taz Racing Customs, as well as a lot of the other sponsors as well here in the National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. You got Craig's Setup Shop there on the deck lid. You got MaxGrafix. You got Taz Racing Customs. And then, of course, you got all of the other sponsors there in the contingencies right there in front of where the driver jumps into the race car. You got of course, 3 Wide TV, Sim Shots, Buttkicker. You got our friends over at the Brookstone Animal Hospital in that contingency set as well. But of course, Christopher Darling is MaxGrafix.co himself, paints a lot of the cars in the field here each and every week on 3 Wide TV. He's kind of expanded his horizons to quite a few of the leagues that we broadcast. And that Taz Racing Customs number 11 machine looks really, really good here tonight. As well as, of course, the MaxGrafix.co truck as we pan to him. Mitchell Adams into Tristan Maurer, up into Ben Mashburn, whose bad luck continues, and caution flag in the air.
I was going to say, Mitchell Adams was falling back off that restart there and possibly just with all those cars around him, got the air taken off of him. Let's take a look. Oh, just right. He hit the safer barrier where it starts there heading into turn number 3. Try to save it. Got squirrely and right into Tristan Maurer and into Ben Mashburn. I'm not sure who that other truck was, but head down the racetrack there. So 3 or 4 truck incident there for your points leader.
Yeah, and Ben Mashburn's string of terrible luck continues here on 3-Wide TV. Let's see if we can figure out what all happened here. Also seeing something happen to Matt Cherry. We'll see what happened here. On board with the BetAngles.com 24 machine straight into the back. And that will end his night. Also seeing, Matt Cherry. So I think he just pulled off to the side of the racetrack and pulled off the racetrack as his night is done. Ooh, man, a little bit sketchy right there. But you can see that blown motor in the Amsoil number 38 machine from that contact. Big question, I think, however, is what about the driver trying to go for the Buttkicker challenge? Because it looked to me like maybe, just maybe, Colin Ullery was able to squeak on by this accident with no damage. Let's see if he can go on board with driver of the number 62 machine right here. Here we go. Let's slow this down, William, because we're going to get a really good look at this accident from the Sim Shots number 62.
Yeah, you see the 49 sideways already there. There's the 17 truck. He's going to get the first initial impact. And, oh, man, that's really close. If anything, he might have got a little left front and right side damage. But this view doesn't look too bad. We'll have to see if he did get anything there. That was really close for him. And that could have been the end of the Buttkicker challenge for him right there if he did hit him hard.
Yeah, that is really crazy to see that. I think he got through that with no damage. Let's get one more look on board here with driver of the number 62 machine. This is Matt Cherry to see what Matt Cherry saw. Going down the backstretch off into turn number 3, gets on the brakes, and just nowhere for Matt Cherry to go, and that is it. Game over for the Amsoil machine. Tough night. And a tough way to end it after such a clean start to tonight's main event here on 3Y TV. It all comes to an end for a couple of the main competitors, but we did have some split strategies. Your top 5 trucks staying out under this caution flag. Jeff Bryce, Jason Gracias, Ben Eizenger, Colin Ullery, Robert Dudley, all staying out in their front 5 trucks, but then behind them, everyone else coming out. Oh, nope, never mind. Take that all back. Here comes Jeff Bryce down pit road.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's playing strategy or just seen all those other leaders get tires and he's going to come down pit road. So right now that will leave the one car, Gracias, as the leader and Eizenger up to second. I'm surprised he didn't come down, maybe take some tires there, but he wants to try to gain all those positions he lost. And there is the guy going for the Buttkicker challenge, Colin Ullery in the number 62. He's up to third now, so we'll see how this strategy works out with these guys having a few laps on these tires there versus the guys that just pitted, got those new tires. I'm not sure how it's going to play, Peter. What do you think?
I've seen this game played out multiple times on 3-Wide TV at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. 8-lap-old tires. They don't sound like that old, but they will feel it. Those drivers will feel the 8-lap-old tires, and I expect to see these front 4 not do so hot for the first couple of laps after this race goes green. I'm really surprised to see that we had a couple of trucks stay out, period. I really don't think it's going to play out unless we get another caution flag here very shortly. It looks like the number 1 of Gracias is going to choose the high line for this restart. I'm expecting to see the pace car lights turn off. The iRacing key out eye, as I like to call it. We'll wait and see.
He went back down on the bottom.
Yeah, he did. He played a little bit of a trickery there. Top side, bottom side, top side, bottom side. Where are you going, Jason? Well, we finally got our answer. Bottom side for this upcoming restart. There is your top 6. Gracias, Eizenger, Ullery, Dudley, Tellier, Poole, Freeman, Darling, Neal, and Dumas, your top 10. But one thing that I do want to make mention of is Mike Floppy Tellier had a very short pit stop, only 5 seconds in his pit box. So I expect that that number 97 only took 2 tires, or maybe it didn't even take any tires on his pit stop. So keep our eyes on the number 97 machine. Took on a fuel, but don't think he got any tires. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but always fun to have different strategies, William.
Yes, it's fun, and we're going to see what's going to happen as we see, you're talking about Mike Tellier there being the first one that won the race off pit road, but the guy that first took tires, JT Poole, starting on the outside of row number 3, and we'll see how aggressive he can be on this restart. And JT Poole has been pretty aggressive in I've seen in the Truck Series and the Super Speedway Series as the pace car pulls off. And here we go, back to green.
Green flag back in the air, and Jason Gracias got a really good start. Now we're going to watch the drivers on the fresh tires like JT Poole. He's got himself down to the inside of Robert Dudley. What can he do? Can he clear the number 48 machine? He can, emphatically coming out of turn number 2. Now going down the backstretch, that number 26 machine closing up to a side-by-side battle in front of him. He himself side-by-side with Mike Floppy Tellier. And look at the fresh tires on the number 26 truck closing in. We saw him take it 3 wide earlier in the night. Is he going to do it again here? No, he does not. Now to the outside of the driver who picked up your Craig Setup Shop pole position award at the beginning of the night and is going for that Buttkicker challenge. The number 62 Sim Shots machine of Colin Ullery, who is trying to hang on to third. But here we go. 3 wide down the backstretch.
Told you aggressive he is. He falls back in line though behind Eizenger. Again, Eizenger's on those older tires. It could be bad news for JT Poole if he tries to take it 3 wide there. But you see him get back in line there coming off the turn number 4. And he's still stuck behind Eizenger on the outside line with Ullery on the bottom. And now possibly opening on the top. No, Eizenger shut the door. And we take a look at the replay of, I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is the number 18 of Kyle Lewis, a little bit further back in the pack. Big slide out of the number 18, goes off into the grass. Good job saving it. But the number 18, he is going to lose quite a bit of track position. Meanwhile, back live, the number 26 machine of JT Poole has got around both Ullery and Eizenger, and he is trying to track down your race leader here, the number 1 of Jason Gracias, as they go into turn number 1. Poole to the outside, Gracias on the inside line, and I don't think this is going to be much of a battle, as the fresher tires of the 26 of Poole going to motor around the outside. Not quite able to clear the number 1 machine of Gracias just yet. Can Gracias hold on? Don't think so, because the 26 of Poole, he's got a fast hot rod. And you can see him sawing at the wheel.
Yeah, JT Poole being nice and smooth and getting through all those cars. And he brought Eizenger with him. Eizenger back up to second. Remember, he didn't pit, so maybe Eizenger didn't want to pit. Maybe he figured that he has better luck with just having a heat cycle through those tires. He's up to second. He's right on board with the race leader now. JT Poole, 175. Let's see if he lets off a little bit. Not much, a few miles an hour off. Gets the brakes a little bit there, and then gets back up to speed off of turn number 4. And this is Jason Freeman now, 181 at the start-finish line. We'll see what his entry's like heading into turn number 1. And he went from 180 down to 165-ish. Heading off into turn number 2, back on the gas. You see the 62 in front of him, back up to 182. Let's see what he goes down to. This is Ullery now. He's at 162, so look like maybe about 3 mile an hour difference between JT Poole on those fresher tires and some of these other cars that did not have the fresher tires. Eizenger, though, I'm watching on another screen. Eizenger is just right up JT Poole's butt there, heading into turn number 2.
Yeah, and Eizenger was one of those drivers as well who stayed out. So he's on slightly older tires, and a bit surprised to see this work out so well for Ben Eizenger right now as he tries to take the race lead from JT Poole. A little bit of a slide out of the 07. Looks like these trucks here tonight, William, are just a little bit loosey-goosey. They're a little bit unnerved going through the corner. I mean, we saw when we rode on board with those drivers that they were always kind of sawing back and forth on the wheel. They never had full confidence in the grip that the tires had. But nonetheless, these drivers have been putting on an absolute show here for us on 3Y TV here tonight. And here comes Ben Eizenger, the 072, the bottom side, and almost cleared JT Poole, but had to back out of it. They're still going to be side by side at the line.
Yeah, I think, man, he's got these. Like I was just saying, he's not on fresher tires, but maybe he wanted to stay out. Maybe he feels better on some older tires that have had a heat cycle in them. He's still running side by side with him, heading down in the back straightaway. Let's see if he can get the run off of turn number 3. They're still side by side for the race lead. He's gonna get right back on the back bumper of JT Poole. I watched this last lap. He got him a little bit loose, JT Poole. Oh, there goes Eizenger. Nice save by him. He's going to lose a few car lengths off of the 26 car. We'll see if that killed his tires.
Yeah, we will see how that all pans out. Let's look a little bit further back. This is a battle between Colin Ullery and Chris Darling, the 11 and the 62, as Ullery gets a wiggle. And we got one car, big wiggle. That is the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier, the Canadian driver, just one of 2 Canadians in the field here tonight, having a big bobble out of turn number 2. He's going to lose the 10th position to Travis White. But going back up to Christopher Darling and the number 11, he's made himself a driver back inside the top 5. He's trying to get around the number 11 of Jason Gracias as well for the 4th position in front of him, as I drop my phone on the floor back behind me.
I heard that. I'm going back to the race leader, JT Poole, watching him. He's running that back to the bottom. So we've been agreeing maybe about 10 laps. 10 laps, he's going back to the bottom. Eizenger is falling off of him, and he's under pressure for the 2nd position there, Peter, by Jason Freeman. And Freeman should be able to get by him pretty easily.
Yeah, so that number 20 right there, Jason Freeman, he will not make that. Yes, he will make that pass. Wow, that was going to be tight between those two. So Freeman, who came down pit road on lap number 59, just like JT Poole up there at the front of the field. We'll be able to see the different strategies right there amongst your top contenders. You still have Eizenger and Gracias up there inside the top 5, who did not pit on lap number 59. But then a little bit further back, you got Colin Ullery and Robert Dudley kind of in the back half of the top 10, who did not pit on lap number 55. And speaking of Ben Eizenger, man, that was a big wiggle out of that 07 machine. He's going to come under fire from Jason Gracias, Christopher Darling, and here comes Doug Neal. How about the number 77 machine of Doug Neal sponsoring tonight's Simbox Button Box 240 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway? Started all the way back in the 27th position, did not even get a lap time in the Craig Setup Shop pole shootout earlier tonight. He's gained 22 spots on his way up inside the top 5 now. Really, really cool to see the race sponsor having a good night so far tonight.
Yeah, he's absolutely doing a great job there coming through the field. Oh, man. Oh, that was a little bit close there between him and Eizenger. Eizenger is falling way back, but there Doug Neal is able to hang on to that car. Man, I thought they were going to go around there, Peter, but yeah, there goes Doug Neal again. Eizenger is falling back. JT Poole's your race leader still going around the field, trying to see if anything else has been heating up. I don't see nothing much, but yeah, Neal a little bit sideways off of there, but great run for Doug Neal coming through the field, as you said. His teammate Nathan Maurer, I'm not sure where he ended up. I know he had a pit road penalty earlier, but we saw Nathan Maurer leading this race earlier. They all had that same pit strategy, so we'll see if these guys again do that same strategy, Peter.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see when we will see these drivers down pit road. I'm sure some of them will stay out a little bit longer than what we saw kind of at the top of the show. So we will kind of see uncharted territory for a good portion of the field. We did see, of course, drivers like the number 55, Steven Doziak, kind of run as many laps as he could before coming down pit road. But we are closing in here, William, on the halfway mark. Only a handful of cautions here, a couple of cautions in the opening half of the race here tonight. And I'm sure a lot of drivers will be very happy to hear that, including this driver right here, the number 11 of Christopher Darling, who's battling with the number 20 of Jason Freeman. This is the battle for second. It looks like Darling's got it.
We got a caution on the speedway there. I'm not sure what's happened. So we'll try to get that replay up for you there. As these guys, I hear Ben Adams complaining about something that happened. We'll see what, we'll get a replay here loaded up for you.
Yeah, we'll have to see. There's nothing obvious on my screen that kind of comes up. So let's see if we can go on board with the number 5. Whoa! Contact right in front of Ben Adams. That's the number 14 of Jeff Price. And oh, Ben Adams got into the wall. But there was definite contact with the number 14 machine of Jeff Price. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to Jeff Price here. Running side by side, that is Zach Howell, the all-white number 37 machine. And it looks like these two must have had it coming together right there. Indeed, they did. And luckily able to just kind of be a two-car incident out there on the racetrack. And, well, I say two-car incident. I think, unfortunately for Ben Adams, he was involved here. He'll get one more look at it with the number 14 machine of Jeff Price. There's the initial contact right in front of Mike Floppy Tellier, and then goes up the racetrack. And unfortunately for Adams there, he kind of misjudged where the number 14 was going to go, and he kind of ended up putting himself in the inside wall. And that's going to be a tough break for the number 5 machine. But let's see if we can jump back live, because right now pit road is a very busy place with a lot of drivers on pit road. There's the number 55 of Steven Doziak. He's in his pit box. Colin Ullery's in his pit box. Man, look at the 20 of Jason Freeman jumping out in front of traffic. Geez, looks like JT Poole going to win the race off pit road. Jason Gracias, Christopher Darling, Jason Freeman, Doug Neal, your top 5. And then a slew of trucks just now peeling out of their pit box as well. Just trying to see who is the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. And I do believe it is this driver right here, finally able to grab a hold of him. That is the number 43 of Evan Burke out there in the Verizon Chevrolet Silverado. So congratulations to the number 43 of Evan Burke, who was a couple laps down early with a pit road speeding penalty on the number 43 machine. And now he is back on the lead lap here, William.
Yeah, I was looking at the pit stops there. I saw Eizenger slide through his pit, so again, he's going to lose some more spots there. I believe I don't know if these guys are on the tail end of the lead lap or not. We'll see when they cross the line. But yeah, Justin White stayed out, and he's going to be your race leader right now. So again, I was just going to say that everybody came down pit road, even the guys that didn't pit last time. But now, again, everybody's sort of on the same strategy except the number 2 car. So I'm not sure if he's going to stay out or he's going to come down pit road here once we get the 1 to go.
Yeah, just kind of looking to see. Justin White was last on pit road on lap number 59. I'm wondering here, William, if he's just thinking about the fact that, hey, if I come down pit road right here as the lights come off of the pace car, we saw drivers make it 40 laps. You know, some drivers barely made it 40 laps. So I wonder if he's thinking about, you know what, let me just get in the pit window to make it on just one more stop from here. We think JT Poole, Jason Gracias, and the rest of the gang will be close on making it on one more stop from here. But why not just be sure? Why not just be sure? Although, as I say that, looks like Justin White in the 2 car is going to stay out. So I expect to see pace car lights turn off this time. We do have a couple of trucks in the back of the pack doing exactly as I said. They're going to come down. They're going to top off with fuel. Those drivers being Steven Doziak, Garrett Gleason there in the number 7 machine right there. And it looks like the number 18 of Kyle Lewis coming down to his pit box as well. They are being scored 20th, 21st, and 22nd out there on the racetrack right now. But going to be interesting here, William. You know, one thing about old tires at Atlanta, we've talked about how slick it gets, but it is really slick on old tires here to restart the car without having a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah, and especially you said he was on last pit road, lap 59. That's about 24 laps from now, or 24 laps ago. And if everything works out off this restart, he's going to have to come down on around lap 99, which will have to make him pit again with about 20 to go. So still 2 stops for him either way, but we'll see. We'll see what his plan is. Maybe he just wanted to try to get some laps led. I'm not sure, but he's going to probably get overtaken pretty easily. He's just going to have to make sure he keeps that car straight, doesn't get a little sideways or nothing, because behind him will mess the trucks. As the pace car pulls off, green flag is out. Nice restart. A little bit of tire spin there for the 2 of Justin White, but JT Poole should be able to overtake him pretty easily here and off of turn number 2.
Yeah, JT Poole has been absolutely lights out here tonight as the number 2 of Jason White has indeed lost the lead. Now he's going to get swallowed up by a big gaggle of trucks. Look at a couple of trucks a little bit further back. The 48 of Robert Dudley all the way down to the apron, down off of turn number 2. 3 wide through turn number 3 and 4 as the 2 of Justin White bleeding spots now. He went from the lead down to 9th in one single lap. Not thinking that's working out for you, Justin, here tonight. Hopefully you can get a caution flag here pretty soon, but he is now dropped to the 13th position in a lap and a half. That is just absolutely nuts. There goes the 6 of Doug Milliner. He's down to 14th. Here comes Jeff Price. Make that 15th for Justin White. Here comes Stan Hausmann, one of Atlanta's own, here in the number 39 Tropical Smoothie Cafe machine. Right there, you see him in that Ford F-150. Big shout out to him. Of course, one of the series sponsors in Brookstone Animal Hospital. He will get himself up to 15th as White will now come under fire, from Zach Cowell. Right there, that is the village guy here in the National Sim Racing Association group. But looking up a little bit further ahead, woof. The number 97, Mike Floppy Tellier, letting it all hang out, coming out of turn number 4 there with a big slide alongside Doug Neal.
Yeah, sorry, I was just talking to my wife. Oh, man, there it goes. I'm not sure. I think that was a 23 car. He's saved. No, it's not over. Oh, man. Nice save there. I believe that was the 23. I could be wrong, Peter, of Travis White. Let's get a replay of that as we go into turn number 1. And I'm waiting for him to slide. He's starting to slide just a little bit there, just like right in the middle of 1 and 2 was kind of like a problem spot there for a lot of trucks. Able to save it. You got the 28 of Jamar Dumas on the outside there. They all are able to keep their truck straight and keep on going there as we ride on board. As you can see out the back end, there's Jamar Dumas, able to keep off his truck. Angel Human on the inside, able to keep off his truck. And again, woof, man, that was close for Jamar Dumas.
Yeah, that number 23 machine definitely having a big wiggle right in front of the 28 there of Dumas. And good job by those drivers to get everything all sorted out. Meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, we have a battle for the race lead between the number 1 of Jason Gracias and the number 26 of JT Poole as they go off into turn number 3 and 4. Poole, who dominated Chicagoland Motor Speedway earlier this season to pick up his first win of the season, his one and only win on the season. He's been dominating here tonight, but he is now under fire from Jason Gracias in the MaxGrafix.co Sim Shots racing machine right there. And oof, man. Folks, if you could not see that, the one machine of Gracias was definitely yawn out a little bit. And he's going to get back to the inside of JT Poole. How about this, William? Just kind of trading spots up at the front of the field.
Absolutely there. Jason Gracias coming from 21st position tonight up to the race lead, battling with JT Poole here. JT does not want to give up that lead, but unfortunately, here comes Chris Darling now. As these two battle, these other trucks are going to start coming in. Let's see if Gracias can slide up in front of the 26 here off of turn number 2. He does, and JT will fall in line, not attempt to do the crossover move there, heading into turn number 3. So there's your top 3: Jason Gracias, JT Poole, and Chris Darling.
Yep, so definitely some great racing up here at the front of the field, that is for sure. We got to have to keep an eye on this battle. As you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, folks, just popping up, that is what it looks like. If you were eye in the sky, if you were an eagle or something or another trying to watch all the trucks at one time, well, that's where they are currently out there on the racetrack. That is where they are by position. But we can change that to truck number as... Whoa! Gracias with a big slide. Great save out of the number 1 truck, but he's going to fall under fire from the number 11 of Darling as Poole once again getting out front. And I really think it's going to come down to who can beat that number 26 machine here tonight Poole has been lights out, had a 2-second lead there before the one and only stage caution. He's just been really fast and really, really consistent, not really making any mistakes in the Zaps number 26 machine.
No, and guess what, Peter? He's back on that bottom line. I said about 10 laps or so. He gets good and he gets on that bottom line. He does not like the short run, but he does like the long run speed there, as Gracias kind of fallen off now. We'll maybe see JT again start to pull away there, but Jason Gracias under fire from Chris Darling, who's under fire from Jason Freeman there. Battle for the third position heading into turn number 3. There goes Freeman and the number 20 for the third spot. Let's see if he can get it to stick coming off of turn number 4. A little sideways there, but they will be dead even as they come across the line. And there is the number 62 running in 5th spot, going for that Buttkicker challenge tonight, Peter, and he's getting up there. We saw him slide back earlier, but he's working his way up there. He's still got about 65 laps to get to the lead.
Yeah, how about that for that number 62 machine of Colin O'Leary? Laid down an extremely impressive lap time, and like you said, now knocking on the door of the top 4. Yes, he's inside the top 5. It has taken him 96 laps to get up into the top 5 and on the same tire strategy as everyone else around him. But really, really impressive, because you know what? I'll tell you what, he's in as good of a shot to winning this race as anyone else out there on the racetrack. He took that Buttkicker challenge. He's up there. He has a shot at the win. That number 62, if he can walk away with a win here tonight, $40 richer. And I'll tell you what, that can go a long way in the sim racing community. Although iRacing prices sometimes say no to that. But that number 62, definitely great job here tonight, picking up that Buttkicker challenge, and we'll see whether or not he can walk away with a win at the end of the night.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. As prior to earlier in the race, there he's gonna knocking on the door of Chris Darling there, as we do right on board with him. He again is going for the Buttkicker challenge, trying to go from the pole position, one to the back of the field on the start, and trying to get back into the lead to win that $40 extra for whatever he wants to use it for. Peter, as you see, he's kind of came off of Darling a little bit there. We got, I think that's Tellier, just went down on the bottom, able to collect it and back up. And there's Doug Neal, still doing an excellent job in the top 10.
I feel like that's just the Tellier line. No driver has done that more than Mike has tonight. Just seems like that 97 Silverado, for whatever reason, gets loose out of turn number 2. He drops down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and so far he's been able to save it every time. So great job by the Canadian driver. He's probably used to driving on ice and snow, and this racetrack kind of looks like it's iced over here tonight. So Tellier there, great job. 2 trucks in front of him is another driver who is probably used to driving on ice and snow and all of that madness. That is the 07 Ben Eizenger, another Canadian driver right there. So we got a Canadian in 6th and a Canadian in 8th. The 2 Canadian drivers right there on your screen, and they're split by Doug Neal, who is relatively close to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So he's not Canadian. That's what I have to say there. He's probably not used to driving on ice and snow. He's a southerner like myself. So that number 77 right there of Doug Neal, the Simbox truck, bright yellow, bright chartreuse, whatever you want to call it. You can't miss that 77 machine here tonight. Of course, in the Simbox Button Box 240, make sure you check them out. There is a link in the description here tonight to Simbox's website. So make sure you check them out here before the night is done. Yeah,
and there's his teammate, Nathan Maurer, who was up leading earlier. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he's way off pace there. This is a great battle, though, between Tellier and Doug Neal. Looks like Tellier will just give up and stay in line there. Eizenger, who's been up front tonight, he's just kind of struggled on the longer run. He's got a short run truck, not a long run truck, and he's just gonna running back in the 6th position now. So we've seen him up there as he's going to be under pressure from Doug Neal, who wants to gain more positions tonight.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, but Doug Neal was one of those drivers who did not take a time in qualifying. He's trying to pick up the 6th position here, which would be 21 spots gained from the drop of the green flag. Another driver who's moved a lot since the drop of the green flag is Jason Gracias. He's gained 19 positions here tonight. And of course, it is the Taz Racing Customs Biggest Mover of the Race award that is on the line for the biggest mover here tonight. Of course, Taz Racing Customs on the number 11 right there of Chris Darling, who's getting close, flirting with the back booty of that number 20 machine of Jason Freeman coming out of turn number 2. But it looks like those two trucks going to stay off each other for now as they head off into turn number 3.
I'm hearing something's going on in the back straightaway. I could be wrong, though. But if you see, he's going to get right back on Freeman. He's going to make a good run for the 3rd position there. And, oh, there it is. Himmelman's going around.
Andrew Himmelman, the SimShot Chevy Silverado, goes for a long slide. Now let's see if we can figure out what happened here. And oh, there was another car off the pace back there. And yes, Dan Hausmann and the 8 of Andrew Himmelman making contact. But we're hearing there was more action out there on the racetrack that was prior to this moment. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Because it, I think, might have involved Ben Eizenger. Oh, Doug Neal got loose. Doug Neal got loose into Ben Eizenger, sent him down into the inside wall. And it looks like the 07's night is done. And then a little bit further up ahead, the 39 and the 8. Oh, man, it looked like the 39 just got loose, had a little bit of a bobble. Got up into Andrew Himmelman. But good news is Himmelman was able to keep that car off the wall. But kind of two things happening there at one time.
Yeah, so Ben Eizinger's night is pretty much going to be done. Yeah, and I was just talking about Doug Neal, how good he was, and I kind of probably just jinxed him there. Ooh, it looks like maybe Eizinger touched him a little bit there, and they both made contact. Eizinger into the inside wall, and Tellier, I think, got through that okay, and you can see the 07 smoking, heading off into turn number 3.
Yeah, Mike was probably like, why are you people running my line? That's the Mike Tellier line. In fact, you can see Tellier there on the right side of the screen just bobbling, and I don't think there was any contact between the two, but William, I think Eizenga might have just taken the air off the rear spoiler of the 77, and they just banged doors, and unfortunately it's the 07 who gets the bad end of the stick. They weren't able to kind of keep it pointed in the right direction, and that is one torn up race truck. And let's keep our eyes on, let's watch this replay here. Let's put it in slow motion because this is going to be a fun one. Because that's the wrong corner. That is completely the wrong corner. Okay, here we go. That's the wrong corner. Here we go. My goodness, I have to go around the entire racetrack. Watch the 97. He's yawed out. He's yawed out. He's pointed down towards the inside wall. He's throwing up smoke. Then the 77 starts to go. All of these trucks back here just having a moment. They're having one heck of a moment. The 97's trying to wreck himself. The 77's trying to wreck. The 07 does wreck. I guess the 77 does wreck too. But somehow, some way, Mike Floppy Taylor was able to squeak on through that. Let's get one more look on board here with the number 97 machine. Watch the wheel, watch the wheel, watch the wheel. There goes the race car. Saves it. Saves it again. And there's trucks wrecking. Just like that. Able to squeak on through. Might have just looked back a little bit prematurely there, but Mike Tellier, again, in his truck, kind of going down there on the inside of the racetrack in turn number 2, that time, not by himself.
Yeah, I thought he was going down there to avoid the wreck, but after I've seen the replay, he was just doing that, what he does every lap, so congrats on him. I guess maybe he can get up there. Maybe he can get that to work out a little bit for him there. I mean, he gets through some of these cars and maybe scare some of these back of the cars there. Like, oh man, what is he doing?
Yeah, he's definitely doing something a little bit different. But the good news is with all that madness, Tellier now up to the 6th position. The Canadian driver from Sarnia, Ontario, right there inside the top 6. Colin Ullery in 5th, right in front of him. It is JT Poole, Jason Gracias, Jason Freeman, Christopher Darling, 1 through 4. A little bit of the Jason and Jason show. We've seen this quite a bit here on 3Wide TV over the past year or so, where Jason Gracias and Jason Freeman end up in the same spot on the racetrack. They do it time and time again. We've dubbed it the Jason and Jason show. And once again, they are 2nd and 3rd. Gracias has gained 19 spots from the start. Freeman has gained 10. And with that contact, it looks like the 77 of Doug Neal, extended stay on pit road. Tough break for him. Trying to figure out if we can figure out who is the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award under this caution flag. Not sure who it would have been. But we do have a couple of trucks one lap down, including this one right here. That is Justin White. I think it might have been Justin White who was your lucky dog under this caution flag. You see him lining up kind of tail end of the field. So why don't we just award it? Yep, that's right. Justin White, Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. Don't know if he really was, but I think he was. So we'll just say it as if it was, and we'll try and sound smart. How about that? But pace car lights are off in the key out eye. Right there, the iRacing concoction, which honestly I think looks like a little bit of a mess, except in the back end. It kind of looks all right. It almost has a Toyota look to it, but I don't know how I'd fit Toyota into my Kyodai name. Whatever. Pace cars on pit road. Green flag about to come out here on lap 109 here in tonight's Simbox Button Box 240 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it is JT Poole who has dominated the race here out front once again, William.
Yeah, we see Jason Gracias kind of slipping back there with Jason Freeman in tow. Freeman a little bit, I thought he was going to get sideways, and he's able to keep on. Now we'll see if Gracias looking to the outside for the race lead heading into turn 3, but JT Poole blocks that run. And I was going to just say, no, these guys just pitted. Gracias wasn't able to get up to JT Poole until a few laps. And in that run, we got a car spinning. Looks like the Buttkicker challenge might be over for Colin Ohlers. He saved it, but man, I don't know. Oh, good job by him there, Peter. Able to save it. Maybe he can get back up there. Got 50 laps, but that's going to be costly.
Well, why don't we go on board with the number 62 Bucking Bronco of Colin Ullery. He was riding in the 5th position, battling for 4th, broke loose coming out of the corner into the grass. And there's bump number 1, goes through the grass, gets back on the racetrack, goes back off. The Bucking Bronco continues. And the bad news for the number 62 is he's going to drop all the way down to the 17th position. The good news is, however, he's still in the lead lap. The lap count is winding down, and all that work that tonight's Buttkicker Challenge driver has done, he's going to have to do it all over again, as there are 16 cars between him and this battle for the race lead. Jason Gracias again trying to get to the front, trying to get around JT Poole, but Poole has been so difficult to pass here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Gracias, though, trying to find a little bit of pace down there on the inside of the racetrack. The track temperature here, folks, has not heated up. So I believe the clock is frozen at 8:40 in the morning. Time has stood still at the Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight. It hasn't stood still, though, for these two drivers up at the front of the field as they're hustling their way around at about 178 miles an hour right at the start-finish line, and it is still JT Poole by the skin of his teeth holding on to the race lead over Gracias. But this has been some great side-by-side action for the lead.
Absolutely, Peter, there. Again, Gracias trying to get by him. If he can maybe get a little help from Freeman there, he probably can get by him, but Freeman's running the top. So again, as we head into turn number 3, you see that the 26 is going to try to pinch him down a little bit there. Trying to make him get a little bit loose, make him fall back there. And it looks like JT Poole is going to finally clear him. And Freeman's going to come over for the 2nd position now as they battle for 2nd. And JT Poole again, let's see if he gets back down to the bottom and here in a few laps and be able to pull away from these guys. Peter?
Yeah, that seems like it's been his thing. You highlighted that the 26 kind of runs that middle groove for about 10 laps until he's got some heat in the tires, and then he drops right down to that line where the number 1 of Gracias is running. So we're probably about 5 or 6 laps away from him doing that here tonight. I always love when you're a race car driver and you kind of find something that works out for you. It has been working out for the number 26, but here comes the 20, Jason Freeman, and Freeman's going to clear JT Poole. Coming out of those contact, Jason Freeman going around on the backstretch. Can he keep it out of the wall? No, he cannot, but he's off the racetrack. We stay green flag because he is off the racetrack, and he's going to roll up onto the track here. No caution flag. We stay green. Can you believe that, William? This racetrack is notorious in iRacing for not throwing caution flags when a car spins down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. We saw that right there, but that gives the race lead to Jason Gracias. JT Poole, he slides back to third after that contact with Jason Freeman.
Got hit there on the 26 machine, but Freeman, man, he took a hard hit in the inside wall, and he's like you said, once those cars hit the apron on this track, there's rarely any time that there'll be a caution. I think the league ruled me if there was 3 cars involved, just a little bit of contact, got him to go around. Inside wall, tough break for Jason Freeman, having an excellent run tonight, was able to get up to the lead, able to pass JT Poole on one of the only cars that really could pass him tonight. And unfortunately, his night may be over. As you can see now, Jason Gracias is your race leader. JT Poole trying to take over the second position from Chris Darling and try to get back up there to the race lead there, Peter.
Yeah, and we do have a question in the chat from Stay Tuned Sports. Who has led the most laps so far? It is definitely the number 26 machine of JT Poole, who has led a majority of the laps here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's just been lights out as he tries to close back in on the number 1 of Jason Gracias here on lap number 118. It'll be 42 laps to go this time by for these race leaders. As Gracias, JT Poole, Darling, Jeff Price is sneaking his way back into the picture as well. He was a fast truck in the early going. He's now gotten himself back up to 4th. Mike Floppy Tellier has gotten himself up to 5th. But for all you people wondering about Jason Freeman, he's still lugging the number 20 around the racetrack. Looking at his lap times, last time by was a 32.14, which is, not terrible, but also not great, as JT Poole, the number 26, trying to battle for the race lead once again, trying to get back to where he has been for a majority of this race. Lap number 120 here as we close in on the final 60 miles here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Absolutely, Peter. We still see this battle for the lead there. Again, JT Poole's been able to get the lead on that outside line, and then once he does get down on the bottom, he's able to take off and get away here. But we are now also, Peter, inside that pit window here with 40 to go. We know these guys are going to have to make one more stop. But it just depends on if these guys want to come now or just wait a few more laps and try to throw some people off with different strategies. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we'll see here in about 39 laps. As you see, Jason Gracias still trying to hang on with JT Poole again, trying to get back into the race lead. We don't know what kind of damage JT Poole has on the front of his truck, if any, from that accident with Jason Freeman. And Darling now looking on the outside of Jason Gracias. There goes JT Poole. Like I said, back to the bottom, and he's going to be able to take off again.
Yep, so JT Poole back to the front. 40 laps to go. Make that 39 as they go across the start-finish line. Chris Darling in the number 11. I think he's about as high as he's been all night long up there inside the top 3 in the Taz Racing Customs Ford F-150. Great showing out of him. Definitely needs a good showing because his main competitor in the point standings here tonight, Mitchell Adams, involved in an accident early on. And it looks like Mitchell Adams will be credited with a 26th place finish here tonight. And look at Darling digging down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, finding a little bit of grip and able to propel himself to be side by side for the race lead with JT Poole. Great job there by Chris Darling, another driver that I had just noted inside the top 8. Great run out of the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Ford F-150. That's Stan Hausmann, a local to the Atlanta area. He is putting together a pretty solid run with his machine. But back out up front, these 3 trucks, you can't separate them. JT Poole, Chris Darling, and Jason Gracias. And I think maybe Darling just cleared Poole for the lead. Nope, here comes Poole fighting back.
He might have got him here heading off into turn 1 there, Peter. He's got a little bit of a help from Jason Gracias there. So I was watching Chris Darling in practice. He was kind of just being conservative with the truck, but you can see JT Poole trying a little shove from the one truck, trying to push the 11 out to the race lead. Mitchell Adams, last night I'm up in the third place in the Super Speedway Series, and he mentioned my name last night and I wrecked. So I don't know if it's karma or not, but unfortunate for Mitchell Adams, he's going to possibly lose the points lead after tonight. And JT Poole, again, nice strong truck, able to get back to the race lead.
Yeah, so another shuffle of positions up here inside the top three, as Darling now under fire from Jason Gracias. He's down there on the inside groove, trying to close in on JT Poole. Just having a quick look here at the stints. They've gone 20 laps here under this current stint. All of your top 5 drivers, Poole, Darling, Gracias, Tellier, and Jeff Price. We have right now 35 laps to go. In about 8 laps from right now, that will be splitting the final stint in half. We know, however, that you can come down pit road right now and you can make it to the end of the race. If I am maybe Jamar Dumas, I'm thinking about, what is my strategy play going to be? Am I going to either run it long or am I going to play it short? You don't really want to pit with the leaders. You either want to pit before the leaders or you want to pit after the leaders and try and get a caution. We've seen Jamar Dumas in the number 28 machine. He's in a good position. He's in a spot where he can make the strategy call and potentially end up winning the race. It's just how much does Jamar Dumas want to win the race? If you win the race, you're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. As you see Mike Floppy Tellier make a move on, I think he just made a move on Jeff Price a lap or two ago. So if you're, 5th, 6th, 7th position, William, I think you're going to do something different as Tellier gets loose out of turn number 2. What's new? We'll just have to see who that is that does something a little bit different.
Yeah, we're hearing the Jason Gracias is coming down pit road this time, and so he will be the first of the leaders to pit, and we'll see if this will give him a different strategy. And I believe that's is that Tellier behind him. Oh, nice stop by the 97 truck there. So now we'll see 31 laps to go. We'll see what these guys want to do. JT Poole off in turn number 2. We'll see if he's going to pit.
And Doug Milliner there, Matt Vander Kooi. Oh, contact between those two. And Vander Kooi into the inside wall, and he was off the pace. I don't think he realized that Doug Milliner was there. Keep it down there, Matt. Keep it down there. Keep it down on the inside of the racetrack, and indeed he does. So, my oh my, that was almost a big moment as there was contact between those two, Milliner and Vander Kooi. I think they were trying to let the leaders on through, William, and it was kind of wrong spot, wrong time type deal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We were looking at the JT Poole there, and those two trucks both of them were trying to run the top lane in turn number 2, so I don't know if something was going on between them, if maybe he cut up into him, and here comes JT Poole, and I believe that is the 11 of Chris Darling, and JT Poole slides his tires. We'll have to see if he made it into the road on speed. So here comes for their finals pit stops with 30 laps to go. And right now that will give the lead to, there you go, you see him, number 14 of Jeff Price. How long does he stay out? Will he pit now, or will he continue to stay out and hope for a caution?
So the number 14, Jeff Price, last pitted on lap number 105. Jeff Price in that number 14 truck hasn't had the greatest of 2021A seasons here. He is currently being scored 20th spot in points. And you and I know that if you're 20th spot in points after 7 races, he's missed 2 events. He is well down, like I said, in the point standings. I think Jeff Price is going to go here. I think he's going to run it as long as he can. Lap 105 was when he was last on pit road. And, you know what? He might have thought about coming down pit road there and blew it. I think he did, and that's going to give the race lead to Robert Dudley. So Dudley is going to take the race lead. I think Price thought about coming down pit road and just couldn't get that truck load up. So now Robert Dudley, Jeff Price, and Jason Freeman, those are the 3 trucks still out there. They can go another 10 laps or so. If they get a caution flag, it might be the winning strategy. But if they don't get a caution flag, then they'll probably be in a world of hurt. But you might as well try something here, William, because they are both well down the point standings, and they want to try and win to get into the chase.
Absolutely. Remember, Jason Freeman was in that accident, so he's trying to stay out. I was going to bring up another point, Peter, was that Jason Gracias has passed JT Poole from the pit stops there, and he's got a pretty substantial lead. The 48's going to come down pit road this time. I think JT Poole was off in the wall in turn 2 that last lap. So here comes the number 48 car of Robert Dudley, who's been running in the top 10. I've been monitoring his progress there. There goes the 14. He's exiting after missing it the first time. That's going to cost him several positions, and that'll give the lead now to Jason Freeman. Remember, just as I said, he was in that accident, so now we'll see when he wants to pit, and maybe he'll get a caution. I don't know.
Yeah, if he gets a caution flag, and if that damage isn't that bad on the number 20, he could be in a pretty good position here, but he's going to need a caution flag pretty soon. Like I said, probably in the next 5 to 10 laps or so for it all to work out for him. There is JT Poole. Now, JT pitted 2 laps after Jason Gracias and Mike Flumpy Tellier. So he's going to have better tires than the 2 cars in front of him. That's for sure, with 26 laps to go. He's got plenty of time to close in on him and catch him. That is also for sure. Let's see if we can bring up kind of the difference in lap time between those two. You can see since they pitted, looks like JT Poole pitted, 4 or 5 laps ago. That's why he was 30 seconds slower than Jason Gracias. But he's been closing in about a 1/10.5 to 2.5 tenths per lap in his number 26 truck. So he's closing in. He's closing in a hurry. And the distance right now between Jason Gracias and JT Poole is only about 1.5 seconds. So keep our eyes on that. That will probably be a battle for position here in about 5 to 10 laps. There'll be a battle for presumably second and the lead. As you see Jason Freeman in the number 20. He, on the other hand, he's up in the wall. He has just lost the race lead. So he has yet to pit, and he's lost the lead. Things not looking good for him at this present moment in time. 24 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Simbox Button Box 240 here on 3Y TV. I want to give you a big shout out if you're in the chat with us here tonight. We had a pretty active chat earlier on. Tana Himmelman saying Ben and Drew 11th and 12th. Stay Tuned Sports saying thank you. Johnny Williams saying one hell of a save. Who else we got in the chat here tonight? Really curious to know if you're joining us here on 3Y TV. I'm Peter Short, and we got William Kerwin alongside me. 23 laps to go, closing stages. Make sure you share the link on Facebook. Let people know that this race is closing up, and it could be one heck of a finish. William, over the years in NASCAR, we've seen some stellar finishes at this racetrack. We might be in store for one here tonight.
Yeah, JT Poole is closing. He is down to 1 second now off of Jason Gracias there. But I'm going to bring up another thing, is that both Jason Gracias and Mike Tellier, Mike Tellier started 26th. He's up to second, and Jason Gracias started 21st. Is your race leader. But you can see Tellier getting a little squirrely there off the turn number 4 there. Here comes JT Poole. He's trying to get back to the race lead, but he's going to have to I bet you that Jason Gracias is going to be a little bit harder to pass now this time. As you can see, they're going to have to deal with the number 77. Ooh, that was really close. Tellier, I think, gave it and just let him go. As now JT Poole sets his sights on Jason Gracias with 21 laps to go.
Let's go on board with driver of the number 26 machine as he has to deal with some lap traffic. Kyle Lewis in the number 18 coming to pit road right now. And that, I think he dropped to the inside, and I think he's on pit road. I'll double check and confirm.
I don't think he pitted. I think he's still on the track.
Okay, definitely was a dive down to the inside of the racetrack very quickly there in the number 18. But he is being scored in the 19th position here tonight, not on the lead lap at this current juncture of the race. But you can see here JT closing in on Jason Gracias here in the closing laps. Meanwhile, out there on the racetrack right now, Stan Hausmann is closing in on the number 8 machine of Andrew Himmelman. This is a battle for position. Jamar Dumas also closing in a battle with Jeff Price out there. So move Jeff Price up a position in his spot, and he's about to go around Jason Freeman. So Price back up into the top 5, and Dumas.
Gracias sideways on the front straightaways, and that gives the lead to JT Poole. Sorry about that, Peter.
Well, let's go back and get that one here on a quick 3-wide TV replay. This was the battle for the race lead. I was going to pan back to it, thinking that there was still enough of a gap between them, but man, what a save out of Jason Gracias. And like you said, William, JT Poole back to the race lead.
Yeah, and he is checking out now. He's got about a 2/10 second lead after that little mistake by Jason Gracias. Now we'll see if Gracias can try to reel him back in. They got a lot of lap cars to deal with. This is the most spread out we've seen them all night, and a lot of lap traffic here as we ride on board with the number 37, and there's the number 48. And oh man, that was a little close there, Peter. So these guys trying to get anything they can here, coming down underneath the 20 laps to go now. So any positions gives you more points for the championship.
Yeah, and Robert Dudley is on fresher tires in the number 11 ALS machine, so he should be able to get past Zach Howell. Looks like he has, so he will move up into 11th. Meanwhile, Stan Hausmann and Andrew Himmelman locked in that battle. I said it was closing up. Here comes Hausmann, the native of the Atlanta area. Of course, the number 8 there of Andrew Himmelman, he's a Southerner as well. So a couple of drivers from the Southeast United States duking it out here. The 8 and the 39. And oh, my goodness gracious me. Dan Hausmann.
I think these two had a little incident earlier tonight, I believe, there when we had that couple crashes happen there. There's Jason Freeman now. Sorry about that, Peter. But there goes Andrew Himmelman still holding on to that spot.
Yeah, no, you're perfectly right. Stan Hausmann and Andrew Himmelman made a little bit of contact earlier in the night. And so the 8 and 39, they're trying to mind their P's and Q's. Hausmann has 1 lap fresher tires than the number 8 SimShot Chevy Silverado. This is currently the battle for the 7th position as the Tropical Smoothie Cafe F-150 drops to the low side again of the SimShots Chevy Silverado. And this was where the contact was made, and there might have been a little bit of contact again between those two as they are absolutely duking it out here. Hausmann not giving Himmelman any of the road as they went off into turn number 3, but I think Hausmann's finally cleared Himmelman.
Man, that was fun battle there. No, little bumping don't hurt anybody. Ooh, there comes Hillman. Oh, man. Stan Hausmann saves that truck. Man. Oh, man. Let's see what happens here, coming down here now into turn number 3. Looks like Hillman's going to hang on to that position as we ride on board with Robert Dudley, who is one of the last trucks to pit. There goes Hausmann. Contact there, and oh, not sure if Hausmann's able to save it there. He does, and so there. Oh, the 48's in the wall now. Man, these guys are driving aggressively now, Peter.
Well, the lap count is winding down. Just 13 laps to go. Robert Dudley had closed in on Himmelman and Stan Hausmann, but now he's going to have to close back in on Andrew Himmelman. Ben Adams also able to squeak on past Stan Hausmann. So Hausmann going to slide back to the 11th spot as Zach Howell was able to get around him. Move Ben up into the 9th position right there, and he was involved in some contact with the outside wall earlier in the night. As finally looks like the number 20 able to come down pit road. Jason Freeman definitely not going to have the night he was looking for. But let's keep our eyes on Andrew Himmelman and Robert Dudley. This is a battle right now for the 7th position as the fresher tires here of Robert Dudley looks like they will prevail. He's closed in on him from quite a ways back, but I think for right now he will start to check out. You can see right there that Dudley has been anywhere between 4/10 to 9/10 of a second faster than Andrew Himmelman over the last 5 to 10 laps or 5 laps there. So I do believe that now that this battle is settled, that Dudley will check out on Himmelman, but Himmelman now going to come under fire from Ben Adams, his stepfather, Zach Howell back there. There's going to be some interesting battles on the back half of the top 10. Steven Doziak battling it out with Colin Ullery. This is a battle for the 13th position, and it looks like Steven Doziak will pick up the 13th spot. He has quite a long way, though. 9 seconds to close up to the back of Travis White. There's Travis coming out of turn number 2. That's the gap between 12th and 13th. But not all too many other battles out there on the racetrack right now.
Absolutely not, Peter. JT Pool's got a 1.7 lead, and Colin Ullery doesn't look like tonight's going to be winning that Buttkicker challenge, so that the next race there, the prize is still up for grabs. Whoever's going to win it there, or whoever gets the pole for next week's race. Stan Hausmann again, man, he's driving really hard. He's getting us really squirrely a lot there. As we look, there's Andrew Hillman now, and the number 5. Glad to see the number 5. We got a caution on the racetrack, just as I said something.
Caution flag is out. Trying to find what the caution flag is for, to be perfectly honest with you. Not seeing anything on my end as to what might have brought out the yellow. Trying to frantically click through the field to see if I can see anything that might have brought out the yellow flag, but I'm just not seeing anything at all.
Here the 14s had something maybe go on with him, but I'm not sure either. I'm not too sure. Let's see.
Can watch the number 14. Now, granted, I don't know how far back this is. Ooh, got loose coming out of turn number 2. Saved it. We're still under green flag here. Let's just look. We can also see if we see another car in front spin.
Oh, I see it back straight away. Maybe around Doug Milner.
Okay, so Doug Milner was the number 6 machine, correct? Ooh, yeah, indeed there was. Ooh, 23 machine. There we go. We finally found it for you folks. And it looks like the number 23, one of the Simbox machines of Travis White, had an issue. Let's see what happened to the number 23 machine right here. Coming out of turn number 2, gets loose, then goes up the racetrack right in front of Jason Freeman. Wrong place, wrong time. 23 machine goes around, and that does indeed bring out the caution flag here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Can't believe that my live timing and scoring did not tell me what happened there, but it didn't. It did not tell me what went on, but I'll tell you what, we have trucks on pit road here. 6 laps to go. It's going to be a shootout at Atlanta Motor Speedway. William, whole new ball game.
Yeah, and we have some trucks that stayed out. I believe. No, I'm sorry. Those guys are on the tail end of the lead lap. So JT Pool able to win the race off of pit road. And who's that behind him now? Oh, that's Chris Darling. We'll see what Chris Darling can do. Gracias fell back to 3rd, and there's Tellier in 4th, having another great run tonight. Running down, like you said, we're going to still have. We should be able to get back to green before the overtime. So it's going to be a great shootout here. Remember, JT Pool does not like the short runs, so this could be his downfall. He did not want to see this caution because he was gone. He had about a 2-second lead over Jason Gracias, Peter, and we've seen him on the restarts. He's always under fire from whoever's underneath him until he can get 5 or 6 laps, 10 laps of heat in those tires and be able to get down on the bottom. So we'll see what happens now. We'll see if anybody comes from the back, tries to be aggressive here on this restart.
Yeah, that is for sure. Now, I was hoping to see who the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award was under this caution flag, but I think we might have, unfortunately, just missed it. We'll see if we can maybe dial back just a little bit further and see if we can figure out who that might have been. Big shout out to our friends over at Brookstone Animal Hospital. If you are in the greater Atlanta, Georgia area, make sure you check out our friends at Brookstone Animal Hospital for all of your animal hospital needs. And I do believe it was a driver who's picked up a couple here tonight. That is the number 43 machine right there, Evan Burke, currently being scored in the 15th position, and will once again get back onto the lead lap in the Verizon 5G Chevy Silverado. So it looks like we'll have 15 trucks when we go back green on the lead lap, and it is JT Pool, Christopher Darling, Jason Gracias, Mike Floppy Tellier, and Jeff Price, your top 5. But Big question for the chat is, will we see a Beer Street Journal last call here tonight? We don't call it overtime. We don't call it a green-white checker. We call it a Beer Street Journal last call. And make sure you check out their link in the description as well. If you are a craft beer aficionado, kind of like myself, make sure you check them out. They have a lot of news on craft brews from across the United States. Really cool to have them on board this season here on 3 Wide TV, the National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. There's a link in the description for the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. If you want to check them out, make sure you do so. Do so right after this broadcast, because this broadcast is coming to its conclusion pretty quickly. And William, we're going to have a 3-lap shootout here on 3 Wide TV.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. We have Darling up there. JT Poole's dominated tonight, but he does not like the short run, as we said. And then we had the guy going for the Buttkicker challenge tonight, Colin O'Leary, running up there until he got sideways a little bit after the last restart, fell back. He's back in 13th position now. Unless something major happens here, we'll see if he can try to get up there, but it's going to come down to pretty much JT Poole, Darling, Gracias, maybe even Tellier having a good shot here as the flagman is holding the green flag. There goes the pace car, and JT Poole is taking off pretty early there. He's going to try to get the jump and try to get away from these guys.
Yeah, and a couple of trucks towards the pack. Garrett Gleason there might have had to go through the grass to avoid contact with one of the other trucks, but it is JT Poole out front. Gracias in the number 1 machine. We've seen him be very, very quick on these restarts. He has the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier behind him, and here comes Gracias. Gracias got a great launch coming out of turn number 2. He's going to try and push himself to the race lead with coming to 2 laps to go. Tellier and, Darling in the number 11 machine. He broke loose. He's up into Himmelman. Dumas into the wall. And this is going to bring out a last call brought to you. Surely it's going to bring out a last call, because that was a 3-truck incident. Do we stay green? Do we stay green? We stay green.
We're still green.
My, oh my. And JT Poole, in all that madness, he's dropped to 4th. Jason Gracias in the number 1, trying to get back to see the white flag. And what about Mike Floppy Tellier there in the number 97? Where did he come from? He's been down on the inside of the apron all night long in the 97.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to take a look at that after this race, after this final lap here. No cautions coming out. Here comes Tellier for the lead. Gracias blocks it, heading into turn number 1. JT Poole is pretty upset with Tellier right now after some contact possibly. Tellier falls back a little bit off of turn number 2 for the final time. And Tellier may not have another shot. We'll see if he can get a good run headed into turn number 3. He's going to try to gain whatever he can, but I don't think it's going to happen tonight. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, he's not going to have it. Looks like it's going to be Jason Gracias will be your race winner, with Tellier in 2nd, and Jeff Price coming home in 3rd.
And folks, you want to know how hard the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias drove? That final lap was the fastest lap of the entire race by any single driver. Jason Gracias showing us how it's done there at the end. What a restart for that number 1 machine. We'll watch him do his burnouts, and then we're going to have to dial up what all happened there at the end of the race. Christopher Darling dropping all the way down to 12th spot. Jamar Dumas down to 18th. Some drivers there at the end really struggling. But then some drivers were the beneficiaries. Some drivers into the top 10 that we hadn't seen here tonight. But Gracias, a big beneficiary of all that madness as he burns it down here on the front stretch. I'll tell you what, that is an Atlanta finish if I've ever seen one, William.
Yeah, JT Poole has a lot of right side damage on his truck. We're going to have to see what happened there. I know him and Tellier got together, but behind that was just calamity all over the place. We saw Darling get on the apron. I'm not sure if he came up and collected the field or not, but a lot of good trucks that were having great runs. Just unfortunately, one of those Atlanta finishes here with the few lap restart cost a lot of those drivers, JT Poole being one of them, who dominated this race. And as I said, he did not have the short run speed, and that's possibly what cost him the race win tonight. As we pull it up, here is Tellier. Here goes Gracias. He had an excellent run off of turn 2, able to get to the lead. He got actually past JT Poole, and it looks like Tellier came up, some contact, Poole into the wall, and I can see in the back there, Darling came up back into the field and caused the rest of that mess there. As you see, Jamar Dumas trying to finish his final lap. But as we get another view here, Peter.
Yeah, you see Darling just kind of get loose in the number 11. He comes up the racetrack straight into, he's trying to save it, but he gets straight into Andrew Himmelman. Himmelman shoots straight up into Dumas. Dumas gets up into the air in the number 28 machine. And then Himmelman and the 11 kind of get into it. Look at Zach Howell going through the grass. Look at Robert Dudley going through the grass in the number 48 machine. And Dudley, in all that madness, Dudley walks away with a top 5 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. You can see the front 4, but he's right behind Zach Howell. And while all that craziness is going on back there, they finally able to sort things out. That's crazy. Dudley was able to run down the number 37 in front of him for that 5th position here over the closing lap. Let's go on board with Mike Floppy Tellier. And look at this block, William. You mentioned it, that Gracias threw on Mike, because here we go, coming through the quad oval. Tellier goes down, and they definitely touch back there. And you see Zach Howell and Robert Dudley there side by side. Dudley able to prevail. Steven Doziak there behind him in the 55. He snuck away with a top 5 finish. So a wild finish here tonight on 3 Wide TV, folks. Definitely one we were not exactly expecting with the way this race went. JT Poole kind of gotten barged out of the way there at the end of the race, and unfortunately he's going to have to settle for a 4th place finish. But let's see if we can bring up tonight's top 3 finishers. Let's start with the 3rd place finisher, number 14 machine of Jeff Price. Jeff, Peter Short, 3 Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you what, you sound really pumped up after that. You're one of those drivers, if we go to a 1.5-mile racetrack, Jeff, and you're out there here, we know to look out for you. And here again, 1.5-mile racetrack, top 3 finish. Walk us through tonight's race, because it looked really loosey-goosey out there.
Well, first and foremost, that was a blast. I'm just going to say, like, I love it whenever it gets put into the driver's hand like that. A lot of guys were not happy about how loose it was, but I had a blast. And other than that, the race really had its comers and goers, really. At one point, I stayed out after like a 2-lap restart, and I decided that's a terrible idea, so I pitted, started in the back, made it up to like 11th, got spun, and then drove my way back through the field. And other than that, the racing was really good between everybody. Like, a lot of guys were giving respect. There were some guys kind of bumping each other that, getting heated in the moment. But other than that, it was a really fun race. Like, I've had a horrible year in this series this year. Like, I think the first 5 races I finished like 1, and I'm just extremely excited. In like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been slowly gaining momentum back, and finished, I think, top 3 in the stage and top 3 in the race. I'm cloud 9.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like your season might have had a little bit of a turnaround here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, coming home in the 3rd position here tonight. But I'll tell you what, the season is not over yet, Jeff. We have a lot more action for everyone back at home. And next week, we go to Talladega. A, are you a super speedway fan? And B, do you think you can carry this momentum through Talladega?
No. No, like, I used to love them, but I can't finish them worth the darn anymore. Like, every single time I'm in a race, in a super speedway race, I get wrecked. But I'm going to do everything I can next week to be there at the end. I know these guys are getting really good at the super speedways. We have a super speedway league. So really, I just got to find some people. I'm teammateless this year. So the Daytona and the Talladega race, I really got to try to find some guys to work with. I'm really excited for it because, again, I know the strategy at the super speedways. So hopefully we can just put ourselves in position to be up front and get another top 10. That's my goal for until the playoffs, get top 5s, top 10s. And I really think next week will be a good show because now we do got guys who have missed a few races. And the guys in the back are just like me thinking, hey, we can get there if we just focus. So hopefully I can find a couple of those guys to work with me and maybe we can get up there and get a top 3 or 4 finish.
Well, definitely going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. As always, here on 3YTV, whenever we go to a super speedway here in the National Sim Racing Association, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. But before we let you go, Jeff, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
First and foremost, Stay Tuned Sports for really stepping up this year. He's doing so much for us on the driver's side, giving us random drawings, etc., stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Like, I've been in a lot of leagues in my years of being down here, and so far, he's topped it. So go check out the podcast. It's an awesome podcast if you like sports. I love it. Listen to it while I work every day. But I'm trying to catch up on some of his episodes. But the other big thing, Back Channel Productions on YouTube and Facebook. They follow around Tough Trucks, Monster Jam, little stadium tours. Really awesome content. Go check them out. We actually have a sponsored race at Kansas this year from them. Big thing here lately, my wife has been supporting the hell out of me because I was really, really down on myself and just thinking, like, what am I doing wrong? Because it wasn't just this league I was bad at. I was bad at all of them. So I'm starting to get my mojo back, and I'm really excited. So I really want to say I love her and I appreciate her sticking with me and pushing me to get better. And all the admins in this league, I love it. I'm ready to come back next week and try to get a win at that track. I don't want to say it anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, congratulations on finishing third here tonight. Definitely upbeat, that is for sure. And we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully we'll be talking to you then.
All right. Well, let's see if we can dial up tonight's runner-up driver of the number 97 machine, Mike Floppy Tellier, William.
Yeah, the man that I gave the win to last week in the GTR Super Speedway Series, coming home second, Mike Tellier. Tell us about your night, man. Me and Peter watched you coming off a turn 2 all night, being on the apron. What was that like?
It was loose. I mean, it was a lot of throttle control, and it was definitely fun trying to keep your rear tires under you tonight.
Absolutely, we've seen a lot of cars doing that all night, keeping those tires, trying to keep the car straight. Tell us how you got up there, though. There in the last lap, there, that was a crazy finish for you to get up to second.
Yeah, I don't know if Chris Darling took 2 tires or what happened, but he definitely got around me and Jason Gracias there on pit road, and then had a not so good restart, and it just worked out that I could follow Jason to the bottom of JT Pool. And I guess we got together. I doored him a little bit. It was, I don't know, hard racing. I was trying to keep 2 tires above the seam so I wouldn't get too loose. And I think I just went up the littlest bit too much and got into him. I'm glad he finished 4th. It wasn't intentional. Sorry, JT. I apologize. But yeah, no, it was definitely a crazy race when it came to how loose the track was.
What are your thoughts for next week going to another super speedway? You're doing good on the super speedways, Talladega. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, hopefully I can make it. I'm only running this series part time. I would love to be able to race Talladega, but family comes first, and I may end up with my kids next Friday night. So if I do, I won't be there. If not, I'll be here putting on a show for you guys. That's for sure.
All right, before we go, do you have anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the TNR guys, Jason Gracias, Garrett Gleason, Steven Doziak, all you guys. We were all kind of working together, playing the strategy game, trying to figure stuff out. Glad Jason got the win. Good job, buddy. And my kids, who will probably never watch one of these things, but if they do one day, I love you guys. And yeah, that's it.
Oh, one more before you go. How about that block he put on you there coming to the white?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do to win. He's in it for the championship. I'm just here to put on a show. I definitely gave him a little shot, hoping that he would get squarely. But we were so far gone ahead of people. I didn't want to wreck 2 trucks and us not even get to victory lane. So at that point, I was okay finishing P2. At least he got the win.
All right, Mike. We'll see you when we see you again. And Peter, I believe you're going to catch up with Jason Gracias.
Yeah, so I am going to go down here to victory lane and pick up driver of the number 1 machine here tonight. And it was the number 1 machine for Jason Gracias, coming home in the first position, picking up 20 spots here tonight. And not quite able to pick up the Taz Racing Customs Biggest Mover of the Race Award, but nonetheless able to get the virtual trophy. Jason, what a wild and wacky finish. You definitely had the short run pace. It didn't seem like you had the long run pace for JT Poole, but you got that short little shootout to the end of the race, and you used that short run pace to take home the checkered flag. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong over the long run. Maybe the ratio I ran wasn't very conducive for the set. It seemed like I needed to burn off the right front, and I kept burning off the right rear. So that first run, though, when I came from like 21st to 8th or 7th, whatever it was before stage break, my tire wear was pretty even. It was like 92.89. So I thought, if I kept that going for the whole race, I'd be okay. But as the runs progressed, I don't know if I was driving in too deep. I thought I was rolling off early, but I just kept burning off that right rear. So I tried different lines. I think later on, after JT passed me on that final green flag run, I kind of kept him at bay at 1.7, and I started to reel him in like slowly by a tenth a lap. And then the yellow came out. So when the yellow came out, I was like, all right, it's balls to the wall. It's checkers or wreckers. So I actually turned the fastest lap of the race on that last lap. I ran a 37. So whatever I did that last run, I think that push from Mike helped me propel me to the lead. So super pumped to get this MDR car in the victory lane, though.
Yeah, definitely one heck of a race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. How loose was it out there, especially longer in the run?
So it wasn't as slick as when we practiced last night. Track temp was about 120 plus. So I think the race was like around 72 degrees. Being earlier in the day, track temp was cooler. So first couple laps, you had a lot of grip, but once you built heat in the tires, if you weren't saving and put too much wheel in it, it was like a dirt track, and you were just searching for the cushion all night long. So it was fun, though. Those guys who were patient and were saving really came out. JT was lights out in that long run. I'm gonna have to dial him up later and figure out what he was doing so I can try to replicate it for next time. But I'm excited to come back and get a win. I really wanted to do well in Dover last week. I thought I had something for those guys, but I got taken out early. So pumped to come back with a win, really showing the strength of our truck this season.
Yeah, that is for sure. Definitely a great run for you and the number 1 machine here tonight. Next week, Talladega. What are your thoughts about Talladega? And then do you have any shout-outs for us?
Talladega is going to be fun. Unfortunately, I'll be missing it. I'll be away with a couple of buddies going on a little vacation, so I won't be around. I'll try to tune in depending what we're doing. So good luck to all the competitors next week. Hopefully another TNR guy can get the victory lane, whether it's Mike Floppy Tellier, who's really good at the super speedways. So is Jason Freeman. He's always there at the end. Maybe Philip Scott will show up, get a win in the 99 truck. He's been doing that National Ninja League or his Ninja Warrior stuff. Or hopefully one of the other TNR guys like Doze or Garrett or even Tristan Maurer, who's been really strong lately, will show up and get the win. But I'll definitely tune in and root for these MDR TNR guys to get the victory lane. But just shout out to everybody who makes this league possible. Stay tuned podcast for coming along this season and sponsoring the league as the presenting sponsor. His podcasts are really cool. Check him out. He does a really good job. He's a local guy to the Northeast, the Delaware Philly region too. So major shout out to him. Shout out to Brookstone Animal Hospital. I enjoy hearing the guys in the race chat saying Brookstone Animal Hospital lucky dog winner coming by. Shout out to Craig's Setup Shop, Bet Angles, MaxGrafix, Sim Shots, Taz Racing Customs, and Beer Street Journal for their green white checker sponsorship. And circling back shout out to MaxGrafix. I had him on the hood this week. Absolutely fire paint scheme. I'm sure it looked good as you guys broadcasted the race. And shout out to SimShots. I'm excited to see Andrew's pictures after this race. So make sure you go check those guys out on Facebook when you guys get a chance. And thanks to you through ITV. I'm going to go watch this race and sip on some sour mash whiskey and enjoy my night.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, congratulations with the win once again. Sounds like you're going to have a good night. Just to add on to it here tonight in Atlanta, we will see you in 2 weeks' time here on 3YTV.
Yes, sir. And everyone in the chat that watched the race, thank you for your support. And I'll see you guys next time.
All right. Well, we'll let Jason go celebrate with his crew. But let's see if we can bring up tonight's final race results for you here on 3Wide TV. Of course, before we do that, I did mention it. Our, not lucky dog, but our biggest mover of the race award. There we go. Taz Racing Customs presents the biggest mover of the race award to Mike Floppy Tellier here tonight, picking up 24 positions on his way to a second place finish. Zach Howell also picked up 23 positions, just one less than Mike Floppy Tellier. So he gets an honorable mention, but Mike Floppy Tellier gets the crown here tonight. Make sure you check out Taz Racing Customs for all of your custom diecast needs here in the National Sim Racing Association community. But let's bring up those final race results, and it is the number one machine. Jason Gracias taking home the win. Mike Floppy Tellier in second. Jeff Price coming home in third. JT Poole dominated the race here tonight. He is only going to walk away with fourth. Robert Dudley, Zach Howell, fifth and sixth. Stephen Doziak Jr., the number 55 machine, squeaked through all those late race antics to finish seventh. Ben Adams, Stan Hausmann, and Colin O'Leary rounding out your top 10 there, William.
Yeah, unfortunately for Colin O'Leary not picking up that Buttkicker challenge tonight, Peter, but going through the rest of the field, 11th, Evan Burke. We saw him pick up a few Brookstone Animal Hospital. I hope I got that right. Lucky dogs there. Chris Darling, we saw him get squirrely and cause that melee there with 2 laps to go. He'll come home in the 12th position. Then we have Travis White and Justin White, 13th and 14th. Kyle Lewis will come home 15th. 16th, Garrett Gleason. 17th, Angel Hillman, who was caught up with Chris Darling there. And 18th will be Jamar Dumas in the 28 car.
Yeah, and then finishing back behind them just a little bit further back, Jason Freeman, Doug Milliner, 19th and 20th. Doug Neal in 21st. That's a tough break for the man who sponsored tonight's Simbox Button Box 240. Nathan Maurer, his teammate, finishing in 22nd. Tristan Maher, 23rd. Matt Vanderkoy, 24th. Ben Eizenga, 25th. He led a couple of laps early. Mitchell Adams in the number 49 machine had a big accident from being up there inside the top 3 as well. Matt Cherry and Ben Mashburn's streak now, it seems like it's a streak of finishing last place here on 3YTV, continues. It goes another night. Mashburn having no luck on the channel. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out that we're fired because Ben Mashburn's paid off the officials to find a new broadcasting company or something. I don't know. Something's got to change for Ben Mashburn, but he's having no luck at the moment in the number 24 machine. Maybe, I said last night, scrap the Jeff Gordon car. Tonight, I'm going to go one step further. Scrap number 24. I mean, the bet angles scheme did not do anything for you here tonight. Just not working out for Ben Mashburn right now. Sorry to pick on you there, Ben. But any final thoughts here tonight, William? Definitely a fun race and a lot more green flag racing than I think I was expecting tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Mitchell Adams, we talked about him. He was running good until he got caught up in that accident. It could possibly cost him the points. I've been trying to see if they've been updated, but they have not been, unfortunately, yet. And then just the last lap there, a great job by Jason Gracias to get by JT Poole. Unfortunately for JT Poole, he got put up in the wall by Tellier, but it's last lap. It's racing. It's going to happen. Everybody was trying to gain anything they can there. But I think that was about it. We saw some crazy pit stops there in the beginning. Those guys just taking about lap 20 of the 50 laps stage break there, coming in and getting whatever they can and see what their car was doing. But I think that's about it, Peter. It was a fun night. It was great to be up here with you once again, and hopefully maybe sometime in the future we'll be back.
Absolutely. Well, folks, big shout out to the sponsors here tonight. We did not have a Beer Street Journal last call, but big shout out to them for sponsoring us here in the National Sim Racing Association. Of course, big shout out to Stay Tuned Sports, Buttkicker, Craig's Setup Shop, MaxGrafix, Brookstone Animal Hospital, Taz Racing Customs, Sim Shots, and Bet Angles for making this show possible for you each and every week here on the channel. Big shout out to our friends over at SimTV for the camera angles that we bring you here on the channel. But I think that's going to wrap it up here from HOTLANTA. Peter Short and, of course, William Kerwin alongside and everyone else in the 3Y TV family wish you a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy and all that good stuff, and we shall see ya!